This is the future. Evolution. This is the future. Evolution. This is the future. Human error. Evolution. This is the future. Evolution.
Hello and welcome to the Nexus gaming series. I'll be your host for this evening. My name is Feldjoth. I'm joined today by Viper. Thank you for joining me, Viper.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm very excited for this exciting matchup.
Yeah, so tonight we're casting a Storm Division. It's the fourth season of Storm Division, which is the highest division in the Nexus Gaming Series. We're really excited for this matchup between $1 Million JPEG and Baby Makers. Currently, we're getting the lobby set up and heading into the first game of the night. I'm going to be pulling up some game information, and we'll go right through to draft. We're waiting on 1 or 2 more people, I believe, and then we'll be ready to dive right into it.
Yeah, we're very much looking forward to this. It's obviously, since the highest level that NNGS can offer, we're looking forward to some really clean games here. I wouldn't mind a little bit of A-ramming a little bit here and there, but definitely have my notepad out ready to get some good strategies on some of these maps we're going to be playing tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Always a good chance to see some great players play some unique strategies and see strategies you may already know about executed really, really well. So I'm excited to see what they do. Just looking at the picks and bans, we're going to be going to Battlefield of Eternity up. Let me pull up that information here. Towers of Doom and Alterac Pass were the maps banned out by the $1 Million JPEG, and then Baby Makers banned out Infernal and also Sky Temple. So interesting bans. We'll jump in and analyze those in a second. Let me get that all updated and switched over. All right, perfect. So going into the map overview, let's take a look at that here. I see a trend towards maybe some of the, not necessarily some of the larger maps. Alterac is one of the larger maps on this list. Infernal's pretty big. Obviously, when you think really large maps, Cursed comes to mind. Alterac does come to mind. I think the strange thing you see here that they may be banning out more consistently than not is the ability for the 4-man movement along with the solo laner being off and alone. Alterac, you normally see globals being prioritized, and then as much push power as possible before migrating into the objective phase. The same with Infernal Shrines. Sky Temple is a map of math where structures are key based on how the objective runs, and then Towers of Doom with the same sort of idea of that 4-man being the typical strategy with a double soaker or a really strong offlane push. Checking out those other lanes. So with that being said, we go first to a really heavy teamfight map, Battlefield of Eternity, 2 lanes, one of the smallest maps, large kind of no man's land in the center, and then obviously huge objective phases that can cause this game to get swung really quickly in the early phases. What are your thoughts as we go into this Battlefield of Eternity? What do you expect to see? What do you expect to have banned?
Well, I obviously, Vala incredibly strong on this map. Q build can burn that Immortal really easily. Generally, what you see here is they see 2 strategies: go for the race on the Immortal, or you go for team fights. I'll be interested to see what the teams decide to go with. Obviously, since it's high skill, we will see a lot of these probably niche heroes being taken out. Looks like we were just resetting here a little bit. But I'll be really interested to see, especially where the tank's set up, because there's a lot of vision control here, right? So a lot of vision control for both teams. It'll be interesting to see where the tank's set up, how they're going to utilize that, and what kind of strategies they employ.
Yeah, we had someone dodge really quickly. I don't think the teams were maybe properly set up. I had to request them to switch sides so they fit with the home team in a way, strategy or like a setup that we're used to. And then one guy had to quickly restart his PC, it looks like. So yeah, I'm interested to see whether or not the ban strategies stick to maybe what you might consider to be a strong meta, or to more of a counter draft against the other teams. There's not a lot of data on either team for this season yet, so we still have some updates here, and we've been lucky enough with Heroes of the Storm to have some updates recently. So I think we'll see the meta that has shifted since the last season. I'm interested to see whether that's kind of the priority. We're only in round 2 of this season of Storm Division. So, I mean, obviously, like I said, there's not a lot of scouting that's been done on other teams to, have a clear idea of whether or not I need to prioritize something that's just good as heroes go on ranking lists, or something that's really great based on the players I'm playing against.
Exactly, and interesting that you mentioned with the meta shift. We've actually seen the Johanna, since she's gotten the rework and a slight nerf. She's actually been moved more into the solo lane, and these higher level matches, and rather than tank. So be interested to see if we see that today. Things I definitely don't expect to see. I know that June's playing. He's a very good Vikings player, so I don't expect to see that on Battlefield Eternity. But perhaps when we move into one of those larger maps, we might be able to see that. So that'd be really interesting.
I don't know. I wouldn't count it out. I've seen the Vikings played on Battlefield of Eternity. They have excellent burn and Immortal Race, but I definitely do consider it to be a strange thing if it is picked up. So yeah.
Exactly, and it's and the same thing. It's like I don't expect to see an Abathur play. Like I have seen it. I don't expect to see it, but
yeah,
same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, looks like we're ready again. People are shouting out in the channel. I think we're starting right now. I'll kick us over when we do.
Perfect.
Yes, here we go. Game number 1 in this best of 3 against the $1 million JPEGs versus Baby Makers. All right. I'm excited to see how this draft goes. Immediate Medivh ban. Just absolutely right out the gate. Not even a delay.
Wow, these guys are just flying through this. So immediately we got the Medivh and the Hogger ban. Just apparently they've done the homework on each other. They know exactly what they're going to get rid of.
Yeah, I think, and then I think Stukov fits more into the meta of what you expect to have banned. He's really strong. He got a little bit of a nerf, at least in his kind of spam silence puddle build, but he's still obviously a really strong hero. The silence puddle is a great follow-up to CC, and it's a great zoning tool on this map. Medivh, if there's a Medivh player on the other team, is just game-changing in and of itself. His ability to just completely change the tide of battle with a mass stasis and protects at the right moment. Dahaka also banned out. I think he's just generally strong right now. Instant Hanzo pickup. I like that. I mean, it's a great burn. You're looking at Hanzo for another opportunity to have a ranged engage, which I think is really strong. You don't want to necessarily depend on your tank for all of the engage potential in a draft. So I think having a Hanzo is an excellent tool to add that extra range stun that's pretty reliable.
Exactly, and we are expecting a W build here from the Hanzo, but you're right. It fulfills 2 roles. You get the team fight with his ult, and you get the burn. So definitely very good pickup here from the $1 million JPEG.
Early Rhaegar pickup along with the Vala. Vala's great burn. Rhaegar is one of the really meta characters right now after the rework. And then on the other side, you see the Johanna, which is very meta, and the Blaze, which I've seen have an incredibly high win rate across divisions this season so far, and also a pretty meta pickup, giving yourself a lot of stun, a lot of great offlane soak, and survivability with the bunker.
Exactly. Yeah, and looks like they're going to be banning out the Lucio here. Very interesting ban. Once again, there's a lot of walls, so Lucio can definitely be very, very annoying to deal with. So I like that ban. Let's see how Baby Makers are going to follow that up.
It could also indicate that they're looking for a single target blow up. With Johanna, a lot of the counters can be the taunt variant, so we might see that. A great counter to taunt variant is a high 5 Lucio who just unstoppables the target and keeps everyone moving like nothing happened.
Exactly.
The Leo countering the Blaze soak, that makes sense for me. Leo's a great game-changing character as you get late game with Silence and Tomb, or even the Protect talent at 20. What do you think about the Diablo?
The Diablo, absolutely love him on this map. As I just mentioned, a lot of walls, a lot of stun targets. Definitely also very good at zoning the enemy team. If the Val is on the burn, he can definitely be disruptive. Obviously, as you get higher skill, you'll be able to set Diablo stuns up with the immortal stuns. So be really interested to see how Zero plays that and how aggressive he goes. Let's see what the response is.
Ooh, we got an extra front line with the Thrall. Great damage, great stacking potential on this map for any of his builds, although I do think there is a stronger build than others for Thrall in the current meta. But a lot of frontline is exactly what Hanzo wants to see, because his weakness is going to be dive, and we're going to see if Baby Makers tries to exploit that with anything that's going to be a little bit game changing here with this last pick.
I am expecting an Earthquake Thrall here, just to try to slow down the Baby Makers to allow the Johanna to close that gap a little bit easier to set up her stuns. I'll be definitely looking forward to that. And obviously, I'm a green Lightning Thrall guy to extra percentage damage against the Diablo pay off dividends.
Yeah, I agree. That's definitely, I think, the meta build for him, along with and Stressful Wrath gets some extra % damage and healing, and then, you know, mana as well. However, I think that this exact scenario is the scenario you want to see. You could possibly see a Crash Lightning. They don't need Thrall in the off lane. They have Thrall in the 4-man, and you can just stack that, so it's going to consistently get value, and it will help with the late game. So I think that's never something that you can count out in this specific situation. All right, as we're going into game number 1, I'm going to start with the left side, blue team. On the Johanna, we have Zane Hyde. On the Thrall, we have Earth. On the Anduin, we have DH June. We have Chaotic playing the Hanzo. And finally, we have Blaze being played by Pepper.
And over here for Baby Makers, we got Marbuckle on the Leoric. We got Deathwish on the Vala. We have Cheekies on the Rhaegar. Lupus is playing the good old Junkrat, and Zero on the Diablo.
Immediate switch of the majority to the top lane for the side of $1 Million JPEG. Baby Makers kind of sniffs that out and decides to run a 3-2 and leave Junkrat now in the off lane, or bottom, which is now the off lane, and rotate Diablo up.
Very interesting strategy. They got a little bit of damage there on the top tower, but nothing too grand for that switch.
We see Q build, which is expected out of the Vala, as she gets resets on her Q at 4, and then extra damage to non-heroic targets. At 7, she's going to start to burn the Immortal. Quite a bit of damage going out on the Diablo, along with the Anduin. Go ahead
nice
and grabbing
pull there.
that pull. Yeah, that's great. Also a great juke on the Junkrat concussion grenade, which was put there to kind of separate people. And with that said, we do have the Junkrat rotating up and putting the Leo against that Blaze bottom, who's content to let the Leo push that lane out towards them.
Excellent. We do see the green lightning there on the or rolling thunder, I should say, on the Thrall. So definitely getting that percentage damage that I was expecting to see.
This could be a fight up here. Zane Hyde go ahead and pops that unstoppable. Diablo's really low, so is Zane Hyde. Diablo goes down, but I think the John is going to go down as well. Yep, it's going to be a 1-for-1, but with the Leoric rotating up to help secure at least an even trade, and the camp grab, there's a lot of structure damage sacrificed in the bottom lane for that.
Yeah, and he is going to get back just for those little XP glows, but definitely, I would say that's still in the favor of Baby Makers, as they were able to get that camp and get that XP makeup there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was pretty net neutral. They did get the camp, but with what they lost bottom and a wave down, I think they're dead even in XP from it. So, MFCEO saying Lupus Vala play the game, and I'm excited to see it here. I think Vala's great on this map. I'm actually really excited for the Vala's level 20. I think the Vault upgrade giving just tons of Qs is always a fun thing to watch. A little bit of an engage on the Johanna. Junkrat able to disengage himself with the concussion grenade, and that kind of split of focus is what allows Diablo to end up just walking away. Excellent. Looking like Q build on the Diablo. I think that works here with all the tight spaces in the middle. I think it's also got buffed in the most recent patch, so that's going to be interesting to see if that provides a lot more value. Vala just burning the Immortal and doing a great job. Blaze trying to delay a little bit, not going to be enough. It's going to pop it to halftime pretty quickly with an amazing lead for the side of Baby Makers.
Yep. The Hanzo almost done his level 1 scatter shot. One more, and he'll be done that. So you'll see his damage definitely increase in a couple seconds here.
Yeah, Junkrat's also going a damage build instead of trap build. That's you don't see that often, I think. So I'm interested to see what the outcome of that is.
Yeah, you can definitely see here that the burn's starting to really catch up. But the side of the $1 million JPEG is starting to get a little bit lower.
They're going to decide to push in and fight instead of continue to try to race.
No.
Death timers are low enough. Diablo will go down, but I don't think this is going to matter. They will get the XP from the kill, maybe rotate Hanzo back to keep the burn up. But with the Immortal being so low and Death timers being so low this early in the game, I still think this is probably Baby Maker's Immortal to win, especially with Vala coming in from the side, put some damage in.
858 left.
Yeah.
And there it is.
Yeah, Baby Makers with the first Immortal in game 1.
Excellent. You see here Thrall going down to the bottom lane to get that XP. Just quickly, still putting the Blaze down there.
A lot of soak from both sides to be picked up top lane. This Immortal's pretty low. I would say that while the race burn is pretty good on the Hanzo, the defense burn is a little less easy to execute on when the opposing team is ready to be aggressive. Joanna taking some damage here, I think, with the Ironhide already burned. Just going to try to walk out here while suffering here and ends up going down. That will be the Immortal burn, though, and I think this is as far as Baby Makers gets with this first Immortal.
Yeah, still a great pick up there. Definitely punished that Johanna. They saw that the Iron Skin was down. Proved in, and look at
too deep.
Zero.
The Unstoppable goes out. The root does follow, but with the pull on Thrall just in time, it's not going to be a kill.
No, but Zero looking. I like the aggression in Zero. I was mentioning at the beginning. I want to see how he's going to play it. Definitely playing it hyper aggressive. But was able to make it out with the Sliver's life and just getting full health. So good for him.
Frostwolf pack picked up by Thrall here instead of the Mana Tide. Going for the root consistency for CC rather than the mana sustain for the longer ability to fight. I think essentially they're realizing that they need to get a kill quick, or they need to reposition and find a better opportunity. So that's what you'll see from Thrall here throughout these fights, I imagine.
Exactly. Just looking at the hero damage here, very similar. Hanzo at 19,000, Vala at 20,000, so pretty dead even there.
5-man rotate to the bottom lane. They're going to try to get some value on this front wall. They know there are a couple are top. Diablo is rotating down. Junkrat's going to opt to stay up there. But they're content. They've got the level wall value. That's good enough for now.
A race to level 10. Looks like they're probably going to reach that at the exact same time.
Baby Makers on their camp timings a bit quicker and going to be ready to burn this Immortal much faster than $1 million JPEG. However, $1 million JPEG is first to 10. It's by a matter of moments. Both teams are now 10s. Let's look at blue team's ults. We have Falling Sword, Sanctification, Dragon Arrow, Sunder, and Bunker. Pretty standard expectations.
I was expecting the Earthquake there, but Sundering was picked up. It looks like from Baby Makers, we got the Ancestral Wrath, we got the Entomb, Riptire, Strafe, and then Lightning Breath. Lightning Breath, that's an interesting one for me. I normally expect a W build with Lightning Breath follow up, but looks like we're going Q and Lightning Breath.
I think it's just I mean it's a good counter to all the CC that the $1 million JPEG has.
Yeah.
I think $1 million JPEG is going to struggle against, here we go, see Dragon Arrow coming out along with Sunder. That's going to be a really quick kill on the Vala, along with Sanctification, mitigating any return damage they would have expected. Diablo's in a rough place. Here comes the lightning breath, but it's just a little too late. And we're going to see a pretty decisive victory for $1 Million JPEG with the Vala and the Diablo going down.
I really like the Holy Word's Salvation pickup by June there, with the No Apocalypse and with No Apocalypse and really only let's say Reptile that can really disrupt them. That would definitely get a lot of value of that once they decide to engage. And she saw it there the last.
Yeah, you expect the Diablo to basically burn his CC and disruption for that on the engage, and they definitely have an engage style team. So I think it's safe to have Holy Word Salvation. We could see a 5-man offlane push. A lot of damage going out on the the Leoric, and he does end up going down. I was interested to see if they decided to push the offlane instead of pushing with this Immortal, but it looks like they will rotate up to the Immortal and push with.
19 stacks sitting on the Vala right now, so you are going to see her burn this pretty quickly if she's left to her own devices.
Yep.
Nice cleanse there by the Rhaegar.
Full coming out early, Johanna taking some shots. He's going to back away. Thrall now taking shots as that lightning bounces. Blaze in a bad spot, but he's going to bunker right away. Interesting combo with the Salvation. I like it a lot. Maybe a few ults unnecessarily used there with the Sunder in the wrong direction, perhaps, but turns out okay. The Falling Sword is used for the Unstoppable on the Holy Word Salvation. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a great combo. It's very similar to like Eturial Sanctification along with that Salvation. However, most of the ults are down for $1 Million JPEG, with Baby Makers still sitting on a few more.
Yeah. Baby Makers currently have 3 to only the Hanzo Arrow for $1 Million JPEG.
Johanna just taking a lot of instant damage, does not have Ironhide, takes a ton of damage even with the insta-mount and then just gets burned. This is a pretty big push coming up here as well, and like I said, Hanzo is maybe not the best clear. I think that's the big weakness of $1 Million JPEG's team right now, especially without the Johanna and without the Blaze. These 3 characters are not the best clear in the world. I'll go ahead and dumping her mobility and opting for more damage on that fort. And I think they're going to use that as their indication that they need to back away.
Yeah. So we got 1490 health to 876 there in the top lane. So very, very even. We'll see those 2 forts going down very, very shortly.
I like the plays. Yeah, both these forts are basically in identical positions. They're both going to fall. It's really neck and neck here for Soak, for... while $1 Million JPEG leads in kills by just a little bit, the structures are absolutely the same. Both camps are potentially being started. Hanzo perhaps deciding not to start and opt for some quick burn instead. I consistently see Baby Makers get a little bit quicker on that camp timing, but this burn is pretty amazing at this point.
Exactly. Burn is about 1,000, 2,000 off.
Yep, pretty close.
And yeah, so very key though, you'd see that the Blaze is still top, and $1 Million JPEG are just now starting their camp. Looks like they're abandoning it for the team fight. It is a 5v4, and Blaze is coming in.
Oh, Hanzo's pretty low. I think this positioning is the suffering. Oh, but a lot of damage being stunned into the Immortal Stun, and that's it for Diablo. Big CC lands on the Junkrat. He is going to get himself out of that pretty quickly. I think Hanzo's going to rotate up for the Immortal Burn pretty much immediately. Yeah. That was a successful team fight despite a little bit of positioning awkwardness at the beginning of that.
Very key here, since the last patch, Diablo still has 25 souls as he came back, so he's not quite as weak as normal, but still much weaker than normal.
The Lightning Breath going up pretty early. This is going to be another fight, and with the burn on the Hanzo, it's just not going to be enough, I don't think. So close. Hanzo wanted it so bad. I think if a few more people had rotated up there with him, and they just left the Johanna down to maybe delay a little bit, they might have won, but it's hard to say.
Good to know that the fort in top lane did go down for Baby Makers, so they do have a slight advantage in that lane, but we'll see what happens here, see if they can even up the structure lead with this Immortal.
Yeah, I am Whisper saying go Lupus, a little bit of Baby Makers support there in the channel. And Aressa saying that strafe seems a little risky here. I agree.
Yeah.
I think we've seen the Vala kind of hold. There goes the concussion grenade, knocking the Johanna back in. Once again, she does not have her Iron Hide. It was burned a little bit earlier. Pull goes out on Anduin, almost into the stun, and they're going to end up using the Falling Sword to get out of that. This fort is going down, and with Leo sitting top, this is going to be top fort as well. But the Immortal is down. And 16's $4 million JPEG, a little bit ahead of Baby Makers. They're going to disengage.
Excellent. You see Joe went all the way back to get full health, full mana.
Yep.
And since Leo's in the top lane, they know they can't really contest that because they don't actually have eyes on Joe right now. So, giving up the camp.
Yeah, yeah, which I think is smart. They only just now got 16. They do have a fort here, so they're in a pretty good spot. Leo is rotating down at this point. I've seen Blaze and Johanna switch off who needs to clear something because they're both very capable of it, and I think that has opted to their benefit. Leo coming in from behind with the flank, and there is the Lightning Breath. Pull ends up going out on the Johanna along with Salvation. I think that's enough to grab the Leo along with the Falling Sword, and now the arrow just out missing. Riptire coming out as well. A lot of damage on the team along with Strafe now that most of the CC has been burned. They just don't have the ability to secure all these tanky characters, and with Hanzo sitting so far in the back line, he can never be the target for Engage.
Exactly. Good job on the Diablo there to disrupt the Holy Word Salvation. The Unstoppable from Zainhai was just a moment off, but they were able to disrupt that. Leo still eventually went down, and as you saw, the Hanzo arrow just was threaded there. Nice little EU skill showing up there.
Yeah, absolutely. As responding to Interessa, I do see the Vala kind of using her strafe pretty late in combat, and I think that has to be a response to watching Sunder go out, watching Falling Sword, the Blaze engage, the arrow has to come out. There's just a lot of things that have to happen before I think the Vala can feel comfortable about that. Johanna getting poked out in that bush at the aggressive positioning. They're wanting to kind of move forward and let Hanzo poke a little bit here. She does. Liu's sitting top, being countered by Thrall. Oop, pause coming out. We're going to switch back to our pretty faces as we wait. Some characters getting lag. They're doing some tests in the chat here as they're waiting to see if they're in a better spot.
It's interesting positioning right now. We do have the camp and the top lane going in onto Baby Makers. So really interesting to see. You can see just the Hanzo value here, just getting those pokes as much as possible, and already you have 8,000-ish damage going down on their Immortal without them even being able to contest. So that's the value of Hanzo there. Very good pickup.
Honestly, I'm interested to see how this changes in the late game. Thrall getting pushed out, the Sunder, oh, there's so much attempt to survive, but with the rest of the team arriving, there's really no chance that he was going to make it. And that kind of opens up the windows. Baby Makers needs to move in aggressively here. However, they're sending the Junkrat into Pull and Falling Sword coming out. A little bit of worry on the Diablo engage. And now we see the
was used. Yeah, the Entomb was used to take down the Thrall, so we weren't able to see the end catch there.
Arrow,
Great,
Conquer, Salvation.
Ooh, I was gonna say that was a great ancestral heal from Cheekies, but still wasn't quite enough to keep that Diablo alive. He did not quite have 100 souls yet, so that's a full death timer.
Yeah, June with these incredible salvations, it's really, even though they're being interrupted, Vala with Q build especially has a very predictable damage pattern, and I think we're seeing that being countered by the salvation pretty well. I'm interested as we're gonna see the sport fall as $1 million JPEG pushes bottom. Oh no, Baby Makers won this.
Baby Makers won that. The power of Vala being able to still a 5v4 without the tank. They were still able to get good position onto the Immortal, and she was able to get her Qs off.
Yeah.
So this pushing into the keep in the bottom lane. You can see here that Diablo just came up, and the Blaze is now approaching to join this 5v5.
Leo looking for an aggressive, probably EN and just misses the Entomb. I'm sure $1 million JPEG is glad to have that out.
Yeah. No, that was a zoning Entomb. It was zoning.
Johanna kind of moving in aggressively, walking in with the Iron Skin. I think that has cost maybe a few deaths early on, but with that kind of zoning, I think it was a great move. I'm interested, I guess, at what I've started, but then there's been exciting things happen and I keep getting distracted. I'm interested to see the 20s here getting picked up. Obviously, we see Falling Sword upgrade, Bunker upgrade for the extra oil spill on allies. Hanzo's going to opt for an extra stun on the Vision arrow. And then we'll see the last 2 picks being held, waiting on the picks from Baby Makers. There are so many game-changing ults on both sides right now. Falling Sword at level 20 with the resets, it can just be spammed. Already 30-second cooldown, and they're going to be ready for the next team fight.
Excellent.
We do see the vault pickups. I'm excited about that. The burn's going to be incredible.
Exactly, yeah. And looking at the Farseer Blessing, we have the Burn Despair by Leo, not the Silence Entomb, but Burn Despair. Cannonball, and then finally Hellgate, and as you mentioned, the Acrobat. So Burn's definitely kind of slowly moving to the favor of the Baby Makers, but we'll just see how this, how these ults really pay off. The actual Holy Word Salvation Light of the Stormwind, definitely something I think was a great pickup, as June hasn't been that pressured when he's been using his ult. I think he's only been interrupted once, so this is a great pickup for a lower CD. Be able to really spam those out.
Absolutely. I think the opportunity for the cooldown reduction is really what makes that valuable. We're going to see an immediate team fight attempt. This 40 armor on the Leo is going to make him very survivable in team fights. But honestly, look at that. Volley burns her strafes, throws the Q into it, and they've already got most of this Immortal down to the rotation.
And then you still have Junkrat slowly poking away, making sure that they understand that he's still here. He's still putting in the damage.
Hanzo Thrall positioning to burn. I think that's going to be the cue for Baby Makers to re-engage.
Exactly. Camp bottom lane is pushing in now, about to crash into the tower, so timer is on the favor for $1 million JPEG here.
With the camp bottom, oh, so much damage going on the Leo. He is going to go down pretty quickly, and there is the huge salvation. And I think that was a cooldown reset. It was a cooldown reset. It's up again in 12 seconds. Leo going down. The Diablo's going to bolt to get away. DPS are kind of isolated top, but there's so much damage going on the Blaze, they're going to walk away at this point. Yep. Unfortunate positioning for Baby Makers, especially having to go into a 4v5 here. So much damage on the... There we go, Salvation just used again, saying, hey, we're just going to go ahead and get this Immortal.
Yeah. Good healing, great healing done by the Anduin there. Lupus still poking away, trying to get as much damage as possible. And then Zanehyde using his to also heal up, only at 13 seconds.
When they're all grouped up, yeah, it's just a 15-second cooldown, so why not use it?
Exactly. So much healing being done by the side of $1 million JPEG. Bottom keep is less than half right now, so 7,652 health remaining. So lost the Immortal and lost most of their bottom keep. So Baby Maker's kind of on the back foot here. Let's see how they can maybe catch someone out and really turn this around.
Oh, so much damage going on Lavala. Big ultimate along with the Unstoppable from Rhaegar immediately being used. Johanna's going to go in, but is stuck under enemy towers, perhaps taking some damage. Slow coming out from Diablo, along with Leo pushing in aggressively with his 40 armor. Vala just deciding to stay back and burn. Leo's going to push in a little bit too far and get punished for it. Is it healthy enough? They will end up losing the keep here. But yeah. I think that's about as far as it goes before they push into core.
Exactly, yeah.
Diablo
Lupus
going aggressively, hits the Thrall, but he's going to use Bolt to get out.
Excellent. Yeah, Lupus was putting a lot of damage on the back line there. They weren't able to push in. You can see Zanehyde still pretty low. Brawl using that sundering perfectly there as a disengage.
Pretty aggressive chase here, but they know that Leo will be up sooner rather than later, and he will join with the crew.
15 seconds, still plenty of time. Looks like they're just going to do the top camp as a constellation prize instead, which is perfectly fine.
Definitely a kill advantage for $1 Million JPEG with 10 kills to Babymaker's 4. However, basically all of those who are on the 2 characters on Babymakers that have trait value on their deaths. So Diablo with 5, Leo with 4, both coming back a little bit quicker. I think that's an example of why you see this being so even throughout this game, even with the maybe the kill secure deficit that Babymakers has here.
Exactly.
Pretty aggressive positioning here. They have camp priority in both lanes. I think they're going to opt to go and get their bruisers out as well, saying, hey, we're going to be well positioned here to put the pressure on you throughout this this immortal phase rather than on us, because that's really where the punishment happened last objective.
Exactly. You can see Zane Hyde doing his scouting as he were. Zero being quite aggressive. Might be caught out here a little bit.
Gets a lot of
You see them
damage.
aggressive.
The bolt comes out and the the Riptire ends up going down. Diablo taking a lot of damage. Strafe going out really well. Is this just going to be a reset? They are under their enemy immortal. Don't know if this is the place they absolutely want to be. Blaze is waiting for his stun to come back up.
It's good to note that they still have 2 camps pushing top lane. That's now hitting the keep wall, and looks like the Blaze is responding. So everyone's just kind of quickly resetting here. And there's the Vala burning.
Yeah, level 20 that just becomes an incredible burn machine. For those of you who don't play Vala a lot, let me pull up the talent here. So at level 4, she gets a reset on her Hungering Arrow every time she uses Vault. At level 20, she gets 2 additional charges of Vault, and they drop a 40% slow as well. So she essentially can have 4 Hungering Arrows out at any given time, and with their level 7, 150% additional damage, that is enough to absolutely single-handedly burn this Immortal down, which is what you see here. A lot of damage going in, and it's going to be on the Anduin. He's going to run away, but the heal from the Joanna, she ends up getting an instant reset, and that goes out. Look at this Thrall far out in position, but it's actually going to be Junkrat who is suffering as the Thrall rotates around. And this will be a 4v5, but the Immortal in favor of Babymakers pushing their keep. This game just keeps going back and forth.
Exactly. Very, very key thing I saw there from Zero is he's using his Lightning Breath, but the Anduin was using his Holy Word Salvation. He actually stopped the Lightning Breath early to go in and disrupt that Holy Word Salvation. So very key little thing there by Zero to try to get the
comes out big damage. The heal does land on the Vala and is absolutely, it like saves the Vala. 100 to 0 heal almost. Wow,
nice
that pull just in time. I think the opting to dive past and Babymaker's able to survive that has left this Immortal way healthier than anyone wanted to be. Zane Hyde ends up getting caught out, and that is a kill there. Blaze potentially looking like it's pretty low as well. Does have Bunker up still. Thrall doing some damage on the team. They're trying to also burn the Immortal. Hanzo gets it down. 65% core. Most of these people are in low health. Anduin is going to get the full salvation, but Blaze ends up going down. Oh my goodness, these people are so low. I don't know where to look at this point.
Yeah,
okay,
61%. Looks like they're are they still debating going in?
I think with 2 down, they know that this is their best chance, especially with a pattern of losing the team fights but winning the Immortals that they have to push this year with both tanks down. That is a ooh! Wow, he couldn't quite make it back to the invulnerable from June, and that will be enough to end game 1 in favor of Babymakers in this best of 3. Pretty amazing neck-and-neck gameplay. Really exciting.
That was absolutely a fantastic end there. You saw that the Lupus was pinging to go back in right there at the end because he was just came up. And that was all that they needed to go in there. That Riptire killing the Hanzo right the last second was perfect.
Hanzo and Junkrat doing within 400 damage of each other, almost exactly. However, the Vala also was at almost 120k. And so there was a much higher damage output from Baby Makers just in general towards the enemy heroes. However, with the ability to focus and the saves and mitigation that $1 Million JPEG had, you did see most of the teamfight advantages going that direction. I think this just came down to two different strategies for the game. You had straight up Immortal Burn and you know, hoping through positioning that survival will be enough to, you know, to keep the Immortal Burn dream alive. And that was Baby Maker's strategy. And then the alternative strategy you saw from $1 Million JPEG was let's go into, you know, full team fight. Let's get kills. Let's secure kills. Let's try to secure kills enough so that then we can allow the Hanzo to exhibit his amazing Immortal Burn as well. You know, during those kind of lull periods while you're waiting for people to respawn.
Yeah, we definitely saw a little bit of synergy between Johanna and Anduin. That all that healing that they were pushing out there, all the unstoppables, everything. They had the tools there, just slightly off in a couple of the engages. Some really good plays by the Zero. Should be a really, really interesting match going to the next one. See how the two teams adjust. Definitely both of them very, very, very skilled, and I would say they're very evenly matched right now.
Would absolutely agree. All right, so we're sitting here. We're waiting for the next lobby to be pulled up here as the teams communicate who wants $1 Million Baby will be choosing whether or not first pick or map pick in this next best of 3.
I'll be interested to see if $1 Million JPEG immediately bans out the Medivh again, as they wasted no time in the last match to ban that out. So interested to see how they adjust going to the next match, next map here. We haven't quite picked it up yet. Oh, it looks like we do see it there.
All right, so map number 2, Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Yeah, I do expect the Medivh ban for Tomb of the Spider Queen. He's absolutely fantastic with the rotations. Such a small map, but he makes it even smaller. So I do expect the same bans here, at least for the $1 Million JPEG with the Medivh ban.
Absolutely. All right, so looking at this draft synopsis, we have obviously game number 1, Battlefield of Eternity, both picked and won by Baby Makers, and then we see Baby Makers also pick. Wait, let me confirm this. I may be incorrect. I think it could have been map pick by $1 Million JPEG.
Right side. Yeah.
Nope.
Yep, that's right. Okay, there you go. You're right. So it was Baby Makers that chose Tomb of the Spider Queen. So $1 Million JPEG opting for the first pick once again.
All right, I was a little confused. They had the wrong team selected for that, but we're good now. We have one person using the restroom who will be right back, and then we'll be diving right into game number 2. With what we know from game number 1, what are you thinking here going to Tomb of the Spider Queen based on, you know, map strategies and then potential drafting strategies?
Well, I was going to say the Joe would be another great pickup to try to increase the wave clear, especially when you're going into the beginning of the game. You're really looking on just trying to out-rotate the enemy team, trying to get a lead on those gems that you're trying to collect. So I do expect to see a little bit more wave clear from both teams, so more mages, more mage heavy. Junkrat also fills that role perfectly, so would be most likely to see him here if he doesn't get banned out. The other thing too is vision control, right? You also want to be able to have an eye on both those. I'm gonna call them egg sacs because I think that's what they are. You have to have
Okay.
You have to have vision on those. I'm gonna go with it. You have vision on those egg sacs to try to make sure that the enemy team doesn't get free turn-ins whenever possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I will apologize to everyone if I'm incoherent at any time. I just kind of had a coughing fit. I tried to mute myself 4 in time. I'm currently in quarantine with COVID, so I don't take any responsibility for lapses in train of thought at this point. So However, going into game number 2, we do see the instant Medivh ban again. I will also put just a general offer into chat. We have about, a dozen people watching this. If you have any questions or comments and want to jump in with those, please feel free to engage. Happy to. I've got the chat pulled up, so we will engage with that as well. Maiev ban coming out as well. Just both characters that kind of play game-changing. Employ game-changing strategies, so I'm intrigued to see both those bans come out.
Yeah. And we did see the instead of the Dahaka ban, we switched up with the Joe ban, which is what I said at the beginning. I expected Joe to be very, very strong here, so they go ahead and remove that. So Zane High will have to try to find another hero to pick up to take its place.
Yeah, the Johanna got a ton of value last time with Falling Sword, especially once we saw the level 20 pickup, so definitely makes sense that they would ban that out, especially with her being very meta right now. Junkrat, first pickup. A little bit of a steal. Also, just a great pickup on this map in general.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely good takeaway from Lupus. He definitely had some really good poke there. And I mentioned Junkrat does have really good zone control and wave clear. So fantastic pickup here by $1 Million JPEG.
Marbuckle going to be stealing the Blaze. We'll see these characters just kind of swap back and forth here. Cheeky's back on the Rhaegar again. Worked well last game. It's going to work well again here.
Yeah, had some
Ideally for them.
really good. Yeah, I was gonna say some really good cleanses. That ancestral heal on the Vala when they're pushing the bottom definitely was a good game changer. June picking up the Malfurion, so lots of roots and CC zone and control from $1 Million JPEG.
I love the Malfurion pickup. I'm going to be really intrigued to see what the tank setup is for that. Malfurion's weakness is burst healing, burst damage rather. The weakness is burst damage, and we could see something strange like a Zarya pickup or something that helps mitigate that from the Malfurion.
Yep, and you can see that Baby Makers immediately banned out the stitches. No one wants to deal with the hook into root from Malfurion, one of those classic combos. So they immediately get rid of that. And in response, they also $1 Million JPEG gets rid of the Mephisto, as the stitches can also gorge Mephisto's shade, right? So
that's absolutely right.
Good little response.
Sorry about that. Perfect.
Looks like just going to point out here, $1 Million JPEG doesn't like heroes with the M. They banned up Medivh, Maiev, and Mephisto. She's not happy with M's.
That's definitely the strategy you're employing. I'm glad we're getting down to the root of it.
Exactly.
They
pick up Malfurion.
Yeah, it's an illusion. Everyone thinks that Storm Division is, this the best of the best, in NGS, sparring it out. It's really just, let's pick a letter of the alphabet, ban that out, and play the game and see what happens.
Exactly. This is why I have my notepad here, just unlocking strategies left, right, and center. But they go ahead and pick up Diablo and Ragnaros. Ragnaros, if he goes with the lava wave here, will be very good at stalling out the game, trying to get it to late game. Whereas Diablo, once again, very aggressive, a lot of walls to really set up stuns, and responded with a Tracer.
Deadwish on the Tracer as a last pickup, I think, is really strong. I'm actually thinking that last pick may be an advantage in this meta, with so many of those kind of, unusual, comp quick kill characters kind of being in the meta right now, I'd say. So you have Tracer, who actually got a little bit of a nerf, but I think is still pretty strong in the right situations. Genji got a buff in the last patch. You have characters like Zeratul, obviously Nova got a buff. There's just some interesting things happening right now with the way that the devs are tweaking the meta a little bit. I'm happy to see it. I think it's been too long in coming, and I think everyone obviously here really loves this game. So running these these players real quick. I'll start with the left side. We have real quick. Huh? I don't know if it's going. Give me a second. Oh, I gotta move into the correct scene here. I'll take that as a brain fog moment. We're going to display these heroes real quick. We have Zanehyde playing Diablo, Chaotic playing Junkrat, June playing the Malfurion, Pepper playing the Leoric, and Earth playing the Ragnaros. And on the red team,
And yeah, on the red team we have Marbuckle on the Blaze. We have Dead Wish on the Tracer, Zero on the Tyrael, Lupus on the oh my god, what's the deer's name?
Lunara.
Lunara, that's it. Oh my god, I'm not gonna lie, I was just like the deer. And then
deer.
Cheeky's back on the Rhaegar.
Lots of damage coming out with the root right there, but Tyrael's just going to walk away and move. But there's so much mobility, I think, right now on Babymaker's side, but there is so much frontline for $1 Million JPEG. I think we're kind of starting to pick up a trend here. Attempt for the pickup on the Rhaegar. He ends up getting away with a little bit of good positioning. Great root from the Malfurion, setting up that sleep.
Excellent. Yeah, we do see the Q build here from the Ragnaros, so he's looking in for that later game percentage damage with his Q. Definitely going to be a pretty big menace as we move later onto the game.
Yeah. See Leo in the bot lane against the Blaze. Offlaner's just kind of swapping this game. Quite a big rotate. Are they looking for the Blaze? Did he see it? Did he suspect it?
I think that was actually, I was gonna say that was really good coordination there with the Leoric, because you did see Leoric was able to push that wave in just far enough so they could sneak in. Marbuckle did sniff this out, but there's nothing much he can do about it, as you do see Leoric in the mid lane, so they're not gonna lose out any soak, and they're gonna get the camp.
Rag opting to go Q build instead of E build or Meatball build. I think that's a testament to wanting a little bit more survivability in team fights, as well as trying to get some extra tank burn, which is largely, I mean, they do have Leoric, but they don't have the sustain damage or traditional sustain damage for $1 Million JPEG, so they're going to have trouble burning the Blaze and the Tyrael on Babymaker's side. Really quick Bruiser pickup as well that's pushing this mid wave.
It was a good response to Marble sniffing out the bottom lane take. They immediately take their Bruiser camp to try to even it out. Does mean that for $1 Million JPEG, they still have their Bruiser to be picked up, which should give them a little bit of map control here as we start to get closer and closer to the first turn in. Both teams at 37 and 34 respectively.
JPEG opting to go really quick Q build turn on for Ragnaros, so he did a good job of timing those minions properly. Opting for the later Bruiser pickup, which if they can time with a... Oh, just scared out the Tracer from the turn in. If they can time with a turn in, it's going to get a lot more value, unless they feel like they're in a position to push with it. Go ahead and grabbing out that recall. Tracer will be a little bit weak for a while. We're waiting on that.
Tracer moving up to clear that top lane as the camp does push in. Great sleep onto the Tyrael. Tyrael's still going to be able to make it out with his Q. There it is. But they are able to turn in. They have 18 turned in and a 34 still behind to try to get in. So very, very close.
Zanehyde opting for W build here this game instead of Q or auto attack. Will be pretty consistent with souls. We'll see how that build goes later in the game. Junkrat going for the very similar build to Babymaker's Junkrat game 1 with the opting for damage increase instead of maybe more of a trap build.
Look at that that aggression by Zanehyde there. Good roots by the June to set that up, but it's still Tyrael. He's able to just throw his Q out and get out of there, but did make the recall happen, so should be fine to go ahead and leave. Zanehyde getting chunked down a little bit. And
Zanehyde positioning very aggressively. They do end up getting the kill, but just barely. Tracer ends up getting through that route with a great cleanse by the Rhaegar. Absolutely excellent timing on those cleanses.
Yeah, I was going to say that was an absolutely fantastic route. I'm not sure if he would have got hit there, but It looks like he probably would have. So great cleanse by Cheekies. This should set up a full turn in for Baby Makers. There it is.
And there we
First
see
turn
that.
in.
Yep. Blaze will rotate to counter the Leo bottom. We'll probably see a 4-man grouping here for the side of Baby Makers.
76 souls onto the Diablo, so he's almost at his max here. Just a couple more waves and he'll get there. But even though Baby Makers do have the first turn in, remember that $1 Million JPEG do have that one hero called Ragnaros, so he should be able to clear this up pretty quickly.
Absolutely. Alright, trying to get the clear on this character loadout I've got. There we go.
Look, yeah, it looks like top lane, maybe half of one tower is going to go down. Mid lane, the gate and tower goes down. Bottom lane is where most of the damage is going to be. Nope, only gate. So very little being taken down by Baby Makers, but it's the first one to start opening up. The next turn in they're going to get is definitely going to go through the walls and maybe a fort or two.
Really excellent defense by $1 Million JPEG. So much just, you know, let's see what happens. I'm going to dive, and if we land a root, we may get a kill. It's a numbers game.
Exactly.
I think you know, anytime you see a Ragnaros, it's going to be a long game. Oh, trying with the Sulfurous Smash, the Tracer just gets away. Honestly, I think their targets absolutely have to be Lunara, since she didn't take Leaping Strike, and the Rhaegar. Those are the only two characters that are going to be able to be punished by the CC and the you know, the damage combo that $1 Million JPEG is looking for. And I think that speaks to a great draft where Turiel and Tracer are just incredibly hard to lock down with something like that. And then Blaze with Bunker is going to be so tanky, he's going to survive more than anyone would expect.
Yeah, you can see a rotation up here to the top lane. Dead Wish still poking away at that Rag. Looks like they are probably just going to back up here. Lots of damage by $1 Million JPEG. Definitely got more out of their turn in than Baby Makers, but there's just slightly later, so it was a little bit stronger.
Both teams with an almost immediate turn in, ready to go, following this, waiting for the objective to be back up. Immediate channels for $1 Million JPEG. Do they delay? They do, a little bit. Most of these gems sitting on Leo, though, and with these turn-ins rotating bottom, I think it's probably going to be Baby Makers at the first. Rag grabbing the Bruiser camp for blue team.
Yep. With that Q build, should be able to clear that up pretty quickly. Almost finished his catching fire, just 3 more globes. Giving him that extra armor will be very beneficial for him.
Here comes that turn-in.
Yeah.
Nice.
Excellent.
With no lava wave, their clear goes down, but there is still... Oh, here comes big damage. Trying to do it, and that was the knockback
That's a
from
big
the
ult, though.
Junkrat. Yeah, big ult to have out. He doesn't end up dying. Oh, he does end up dying. Okay.
He does.
So
okay.
close. Tyrael, the cat of 9 lives in this game.
Yeah, Molten Core is up, so he does have that available. They're opting to clear up the top wave first, as they did have that Bruiser to stall mid lane.
Communication on $1 Million JPEG on that concussion mine versus when Sulfurous Smash is going to be used has to be really precise. And I think that last fight will exhibit that kill on the Leo as they decide to push bottom and just make sure they get a fort. Diablo tries to get this, but Blaze with the great stun almost keeps Diablo from getting most of those gems, but I think Diablo did end up picking those up with the Q.
Yes, he did.
Turiel's looking to move in aggressively here. Potentially a 5v5 fight here with Leo almost up.
Oh,
they do
Cheekies
get the combo on Cheekies, yeah, but he gets out with the self Ancestral.
Ancestral.
Yeah.
Well done. I'm looking at the Leo here. He still has his ult available.
There goes Molten Core.
There he
Excellent
is.
in tune, blocking the escape from the Blaze. Tyrael stuck in enemy territory, but he's got a pretty far range. He's just gonna take a little voyage. Meanwhile, Diablo kind of isolated from his team, trying to get some value on the Lunara.
Looks like their teams are just resetting here.
Here comes turn in for $1 million JPEG.
$1 million JPEG. Look at that aggression coming in. Great cleanse, but still going down. There's just a little bit too much CC chain there.
They're trying to turn around with that damage on the Junkrat, but they're not able to get that locked in. Excuse me.
Top port has to be going down with this. They're only sending Tracer up there. It's already at the wall. That should be going down. And lots of pressure here on the mid lane as well. So might see 2 forts going down. Look at that Zanehyde aggression. Trying to do a little bit of body blocking. Maybe not quite being able to do that. Great Entomb, silence, and that is one dead wolf.
Like I said, the last 3 team fights now, their targets have been Lunara and Rhaegar, and I guarantee you that's because they're recognizing that those are the people that they can consistently land CC combos on and put the baby makers on the back foot.
Exactly.
Tyrael trying to back and get some health. But he's in the...
Exactly.
Okay, he ends up walking around. Oh, the Q
A
ends
little
up
bit of
interrupting
miscommunication.
Whew. There's some
But
scary things happening, and they're just so close to completely annihilating characters, but...
Yeah. I can see exactly what they're going for, but able to take down that first keep, absolutely fantastic. Really opening up that map for them, making it very difficult for baby makers to be able to rotate to those turn-ins with the mid lane completely destroyed.
Yeah.
And immediately you see the rotation up to the boss, as they do have 16s.
Lunara with the... Oh, invulnerable sanctification comes out and is an excellent save.
And Riptire is now up.
Just
and
not picking up 16 for baby makers.
Exactly. Oh, we do see a little bit of abolish magic as well. Zanehyde trying to bait it out. Is this too big of a bait? Is this too big brained? He's looking to go down.
More than he maybe would have expected of himself. But ends up dying. He's instantly back up with a 25 souls, so maybe not punished as much as it would have one spin, but still a lot weaker than he was, 15 seconds ago.
Yeah. Lunara taking the bruiser camp right now.
A lot of damage going out on the Rhaegar. There's no follow-up though. Zanehyde looking for a team there, or maybe not, just waiting a little bit long enough for them to get there.
Yep.
Both teams at turn in again, but with the positioning for $1 million JPEG, it's going to be theirs in favor. 2 in a row is really where you start to see a momentum swing on this map, I feel.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you're trading off 1 for 1, then you can sometimes balance the value, but a lot of damage goes out on the Blaze.
Oh, good sleep. We do see Zanehyde going a little bit low, but the Furion ult gets him right back up. Looking at the aggression again, was not quite able to get his Q off as the Lunar just got out.
Oh, so much return damage on the Zanehyde Diablo. Maybe going it just a little bit too far. Oh my goodness, the damage and the CC from the Ragnaros was just too much.
Yeah, that was a great Q in the Molten Core to get that stun onto that Tracer and just being able to get that damage in.
That return kill is huge for them at this point too, because it allows them to balance their push and actually take advantage of their spiders again.
Exactly. That was absolutely huge. We'll see the baby makers defending as much as they can here. That the wall's going to go down, not much more than that. But more importantly, the boss is up. They still have pressure in the bottom lane that they're going to have to respond to. Do we see them setting up for the boss while they know that baby maker is going to respond to the bottom lane?
I don't think so. I think they just send Blaze down and the rest of the team looks at any kind of defense. I think the things you have to worry about are the boss setup, like you just said. They might just go ahead and start it right away. They do see Blaze bottom still. Is that enough? Sanctification is up. That's a huge boss control. There was not a... There is no holy ground, so there's not that to worry about. They do let it reset.
Yeah.
A little, maybe a little bit of a bait. Diablo. Diablo going in.
Oh, Zanhai going in. Getting dropped a little bit.
Aggressive move in by the Tyrael. His Q's down, but he's looking for his ultimate. He can go out there at any time. Does he get up there in time for the... Here it comes any moment. Zanhai taking a lot of damage.
Again.
There's the root there to cut the block off. Big stun by the Blaze.
Yeah, Marwalko's gotten 2 very good stuns off in this game, this team fight alone.
There's the invulnerable, completely absorbing the Riptire, but we still have stun from...
Look at that 4-man root in the back too.
Yeah.
The June being able to zone off the entire enemy team from engaging, trying to follow up that
June
kill.
is ready to go here, but I think they're too low to necessarily be able to take advantage of it. He is going to just go ahead and pop it. Silence is cut there, but I don't know. It's maybe not
huge back and
quite
forth
enough
right now.
Yeah.
Marwalko being able to make it out of there just in time, but had some really key stuns. They do have 3 catapults on core right now.
3 catas hitting the core.
They're going to opt to go ahead and get the boss and turn in.
Blaze not going back. They're going to take some damage here. Tyrael is just coming up. I think he's probably communicating in chat that he'll clear those. Do they get any damage?
Not quite.
Not quite. All right, good. Yeah.
It does put the $1 million JPEG back a little bit, as they have 17 gems to their name. So definitely going to have to absorb this boss, absorb the next turn in, and try to get a little bit of map control back.
If you're Baby Makers, that last fight is exactly what you're looking for. This is your chance to swing it back and completely balance what you're going on, like what you've seen in the other lanes and happened in the previous objective phases to you, and turn that to the other team. They're going to look at top keep here. I think that's basically guaranteed at this point. Mid and bot are very, very well defended with some camps pushing. Do they back up with Molten Core? They may not even get the fort. Maybe I spoke too soon. They keep.
Yeah, still have Junkrat poking away, getting that damage out.
On both sides. We see the wave clear from the Junkrat just opting to blow it up.
Yeah, and that's the objective going down. Boss is going to go down. Yeah, they're not going to lose that keep. Not just yet.
Excellent defense. $1 million JPEG just putting up excellent defense after excellent defense. I think they're just trying to cut their losses at this point and say, hey, okay, maybe we get a fort at least out of that.
Exactly. Bottom lane is at a quarter health now, because as they stay alive longer, they actually lose health. So very important to have those lanes pushed up. And we do see a little rotation onto the Ragnaros. Are they going to eventually come in and take this? No, they're hoping to get a catch on the Rag, but he was able to back up.
It's good that they were at least able to grab the mid fort. That halves the push power of that lane when a keep to no keep, with at least getting Kata spawned every other versus blue team's Kata every wave. Having the fort and the keep on your enemy team in the lane that you don't have a keep is a much more dire situation from needing to have constant attention by whoever's going to be end up clearing the Katas that are going to inevitably push up to your core at that point.
Exactly. We do look at the gem count here: 39 for $1 Million JPEG and 24 for Baby Makers. So slight advantage.
Lots of damage going out, but the Silence and Tomb was enough to stop the Sanctification. Zero is walking out. Gets APOC ends up getting used, but is not able to secure it on anyone. Blaze taking a lot of damage. Bunker is down for him now. Junkrat taking a lot of good damage, backing out.
And Tomb is up in 30 seconds, so still quite some time. But
the drain life on the Leo is just enough at the end of the day. Really excellent job by Pepper on that off lane.
Absolutely fantastic fight there by the Ragnaros, as we're about to see this clean up, I think. Yeah, that's
Cheeky's just
Cheeky's
in
going
a
down.
bad way at that point.
Yeah, that was a great combo there by the Ragnaros. He was able to actually delete the Tracer and get Cheeky's really, really low. And then looks like the rest of the team came to clean up. This might be GG for game number 2 if they can get another kill here or everyone shows up.
Yeah,
Here we
this
are.
is definitely looking to end here. We'll see if Tyrael and Lunar are going to be able to delay it just long enough.
There's the Tracer,
is
and
up.
Tomb is up.
Oh, this
And
isn't
that's
going to
the
be
sounds
game.
for
They're going to back away.
Oh, wow.
They don't have enough.
That's a pretty good call, actually. If you look at their team, very little siege damage when you think about buildings. You have Junkrat, you have Ragnaros who has to get very close, and you never want to get too close to the cores nowadays, as they do definitely have the defender's advantage. So it looks like they're just going to go in for another turn in, keep this map control, and see what they can do with that. Maybe take down at least one more keep, just to have that absolute map control and have that all those waves constantly push in and maybe win through Winions eventually.
Yeah, hindsight being what it is, it's really unfortunate to have that much time spent while you have a clear advantage on the core, which you ended up not doing any damage to. So they definitely probably wish they, at this point, they had went to one of the keeps and gotten some extra damage. Silence and Tomb here, if they go in too aggressively, that will come out. They have to be careful chasing into this team. Leo constantly looking and ready to turn. Earth decides, heck, I'm just going for it. I'm going to Molten Core, but I think that's actually going to force the issue. Diablo going in on the Lunar, but once again, choosing to go an extra Q. Great silence in Tomb, but they're 4v5 with the Rag stuck in the back line. So much damage going out, but the Cheekies with those incredible heals, saves, and they end up losing a double kill.
2.
Yeah. And June here almost definitely going to die. Junkrat with his knockbacks will be able to get out. Maybe he's able to zone with one eventually.
Yeah, look at the Lupus getting down to 400 health just from the Junkrat itself. Zanehyde is back up. He did have his souls. But he might be just going right back down.
I maybe would have liked to see just focus on whoever was chasing the farthest forward to attempt to survive. That 56 death timer is going to give them a boss, almost definitely.
Yeah, that's a boss going into an already weakened keep. Looking at is Molten Core available again? Yes, it should be. He did go for the heroic difficulty. So Molten Core will be available for this defense. But are they going to be able to survive a full boss 23 minutes in?
Also, we see get stuff from the Tracer, which is allowing the pulse bomb target to instantly get triggered when you're hit with a melee attack from Tracer. I think that was a great decision here because, like I said, burst damage being the problem or the bane of Malfurion's existence. Are they too far forward down a character? They're looking really hard for this 4v5 engage. They're looking to get out. Rag kind of stuck at the end. Okay, they're not going. They're going to get away.
That was a fantastic route there by the June to prevent the Blaze from stunning out Chaotic there. They did get the turn in, so that would be a turn in for the boss.
I don't think they lose this keep.
I think so.
Earth, go, take it over. Is he going to take it over in time? No, I guess he doesn't have it.
Yeah, no, he definitely had it there.
He had it up.
Yeah, they just made the decision that's better for the team fight. All right. We do see the rest of these being cleared up pretty easily. Top keep does have 13,000 health remaining over on the side of Baby Makers. So that is the more weakened one as their objective does fall. Zanehyde being very aggressive still.
They really want that team fight. I think $1 million JPEG. We might see the return team fight. He goes in aggressively, decides to push for it.
And there's the Molten Core. Look at that.
Huge.
And there's the Tracer gone.
The sanctification just a moment late from Tyrael. Just a moment. Just actually the wind-up cooldown for it. Just that much.
Exactly. And you can just see there, $1 million JPEG turned on a dime. Zanehyde popped his ult. they went in for it, and they were able to get 2 quick kills. That should be at least another keep, if not the game.
5v3, this is a
15
lot better
seconds.
situation for them.
Yeah.
Although Lunara is the target, she takes so much damage, followed by the root, and then the unstoppable, but then Rhaegar gets caught. The knockback actually, I think, helps him there a little bit. They're taking Kata damage top. Level 24, those things hit pretty hard.
484 damage, 968 on structures. There's that Sounds and Tune once again. There goes Cheekies.
Yes,
two
this
down.
is game number 2. Going to a game number 3, game number 2 of this series, going over to $1 Million JPEG. GG's going out in chat. Really excellent gameplay. This was exciting to watch.
Yeah, that was a great turn there by $1 Million JPEG at the very end to really just get into the Molten Core, get that Sandstorm Tomb, and just delete that Tracer. She did not have the ability to recall out, and as you mentioned, the Sanctification just off, but well done by them, bringing us to a Game 3, keeping this very, very competitive. Looking at the healing numbers, as I'm a healer, so this first thing I always look at, Rhaegar at 144,000 healing to Malfurion's 130,000. So huge numbers by both teams. What are you thinking from these stats here?
You see all the things I think you'd expect out of that. Junkrat has just a ton of minions soak and structure damage. Same with Ragnaros. Although you have big numbers, I think over 100k on 3 people on Babymaker's side as well. $1 Million JPEG once again showed a little bit better job at the team fight, and I think what made the difference this game was they upped their game when it came to their macro presence. I think one of the big shifts in game number 2, they ended up losing some people. There was that second boss grab that they knew was going to have happen. They were able to grab their bruiser, and then while the boss is being taken, move aggressively onto the enemy bruiser. So they had 2 bruisers pushing down mid lane with no keep while boss was pushing, and they were able to get turn in. Babymakers tried to catch them in a 5v4 fight, but they were able to get away, and I think at that moment they were able to mitigate any advantage or deficit that they had put themselves in by losing those people in the previous team fight, and keep hold on their structure lead.
Yeah, and another good thing to note here, when we were talking about Ragnaros not using his Molten Core to save the top keep, he actually saved it and was able to use it in the last team fight, which was just within the cooldown timer. So he definitely made the right decision there, not using it to save the keep, instead using it for that team fight, which he was able to get that huge Sulfura smash to delete that Tracer.
Yeah, I'm ultimately very impressed with both teams. Looking at a game number 3, we're going excitingly to Garden of Terror. Is that in the map pool? Is the Storm map pool different than the regular map pool?
I'm pretty sure it's. Well, I was gonna say, and it must be in the map pool because we're going here now.
Yeah.
But I think it's gonna be really interesting. I really do like this map for the sake of constant camp pressure, as there is, I believe, 6 camps, 3 on each side, if I remember correctly. So camp control is definitely going to be something that we'll be looking for here in the draft, as well as camp clear, right? So both teams are going to be looking at more of a macro play while they're fighting over the objectives. Definitely going to be very, very interesting to see how these teams draft. And I'm very interested to see, are we going to see Medivh banned for the 3rd time in a row? I don't expect to see anything different.
Yeah, I don't expect to see anything different either. Both teams are shown they can win games with the current ban strategies. They're moving really aggressively into being ready. I'm going to call ready as well. Yep. And we're going to go almost immediately into the draft of game number 3.
Garden of Terror. This one, we definitely do see it go much to later games. So we'll be seeing to pick up any late game heroes that really will turn it on the dime at the end, because it's such a large map, and the objective definitely very strong, but gets stronger as the game goes on. So it would be very interesting to see what we pick up here. Definitely very excited for this third game.
This map has a lot of the same team fight dynamics as you see for I don't know, a lot of other maps where there's a lot of small spaces. The hallways in this map benefit once again another Diablo pickup or another Malfurion pickup or a Stukov pickup. Anything that can zone those areas. I think it's very likely we'll see Blaze again with how strong he is. So I think that we're going to see like a trade-off, opting for the Junkrat ban. Junkrat has been in both winning games, so has Leo, so has Diablo. So
Exactly.
I think we'll see how this goes and which combination of those heroes get picked up by both teams this time.
Yeah, see Babymaker banning out Hogger again for the third game in a row. So just don't want to deal with that. Also banning out the Dahaka. That's the second time they banned out.
We move out, my bad, chat. Move into the draft screen here so you can catch up. Not too much missed so far.
No, looks like they're taking their time here with the second ban for $1 Million JPEG. Are they going to go with the Medivh ban?
Yeah,
There it is.
they do end up going with it. I think they were debating it internally. Is something else worth banning here? That could have been either deciding between the Maiev and the Medivh, or talking about other high-impact heroes that have been in this game so far. The Blazes, Johanna, and Babymaker's opts for immediate pickup on the Johanna.
Yeah, so that's on 0. That's their tank player. So looking at a Joe main tank, don't get me wrong, they could also do some mind tricks and try to throw Joe into the off lane just in the last second. But looks like we had a couple people DC here, so wrong first pick. Not sure. Yeah, it looks like we're just doing a quick reset here.
Yep, quick reset. Let's move back over into our drafting here. See some issues with DCing potentially, as well as maybe the wrong custom game settings put in place as this started.
Yeah. But while we're waiting here, obviously, as long as everything's copacetic, we'll see the same bans. So Junkrat ban, Medivh ban, Hogger, and Dahaka. Obviously, Dahaka being banned out, large map, many bushes to utilize his Zed going through the map. So very good ban there. Junkrat, we can definitely see the damage being done. Looks like it's a full reset. Oh, they're changing map.
Yeah, leave games. Okay.
Okay. So.
Yeah, okay, so we were correct. This isn't in the pool.
Right? Okay. Good point. All right. Completely different map, so it's going to be a completely different draft. So let me just get rid of my notes here. Wasting paper.
Oh, this is great. All right, we're moving to Braxis, so let me update that here. I think this was picked by $1 Million JPEG at this point, with Babymakers opting for first pick now that they had the choice with the loss in the last match.
Yeah.
All right. My sanity is confirmed. It's constantly in question at this point of my illness. So
I was gonna say it's like I'm just gonna go with kind of. I'm not gonna say you're not insane. I'm just gonna say you're not insane about this one specific.
This one thing has not proven me insane.
All right. So just loading back in here. So going to be a completely new draft. We'll see what it is. But I do not expect the Hogger ban or the Medivh ban to change up. I believe those two are still going to be consistent. But now that we're changing completely, we're going to think of the draft a completely different way, which is wave clear and snowball. So you're going to look for more early game heroes to really come online. As late game, you're usually already lost before you've reached level 20. So let's see what we can do here.
Yeah, if either team decides to push it to late game, they could try to opt for heavy wave clear and something like a Ragnaros. There are strategies to employ to push this late, but it is not guaranteed and very often not the direction you go on this map.
Will we see a Genji? Genji did get buffed in the last patch, slightly, but still. And previously, he was picked pretty highly on this map for his quick rotations between top and bottom lane, and that boss control that he does provide, where he can quick clear it.
Yeah, this is one of Genji's best maps. I've seen some really incredible strategies like employed here with some ABBA and then putting one hero top, one hero bottom, and then having a two-man rotate with an ABBA hat. It's just like some strange things can be done here, if we decide to go that wild. Let me update the tickers here for the game results for people that may be joining at this point. Okay, with the restructure on the map, we're going to see potentially a reset here of bans.
Oh, there we go. There's the Hogger ban that we all thought of, and a Junkrat ban, so they didn't change that up at all.
Mm-hmm.
Don't expect to see a Dahaka ban here, unless they need to. I'm not sure what the rule is when you choose an out of pool map. Like, and you're already halfway through the draft. Nope. A Valera ban.
Okay, all right.
Cheeky.
I guess so. I think the Hogger has been banned out all 3 times from by baby makers. I think that's probably against Pepper. Opting to pick up the Dahaka really early. Great on this map because you're able to do those quick rotates into the bottom lane from the top lane. He does well against the majority of offlane pickups on this map as well. However, picking up your solo lane this early could be risky if they decide for something to go something a little bit more strange that will guarantee a Dahaka push off the point.
Exactly. Rexar is still available. First time that $1 million JPEG did not ban out the Medivh. But going with the Blaze and Vala first.
Right screen triggering some quick cues into other scenes.
There we go. And we do see the Genji picked up here that we were mentioning before. He did get a slight buff, and you were right. This is his best map. So we do see Dead Wish picking up the Genji for now.
A little bit of an early Genji pickup, so I'm kind of surprised to see it at this stage. Maybe they're trying to pick it up before the enemy team can pick it up themselves or ban it out.
Exactly. I'm just thinking of the traditional counters to Genji. You're looking at Uther, you're looking at Brightwing, you're looking at the variant, and there's the Brightwing ban. All right, perfect. So allows that Genji to go in there and not have to worry about being polymorphed. And the Valera also makes more sense now, as that 4-second silence would really make Genji's life a little difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. Still calling out that Zanehyde as the tank players selected the Blaze. They could be looking for a swap at the end of this, but they could also be playing main tank Blaze instead of offlane. Maiev and Malfurion picked up. These are spicy picks, and I like it. I think Maiev is actually surprisingly like a good counter to Genji, or at least a soft counter, because he's going to go in aggressively. She gets a tether on him. He's going to try to exit, make a quick exit, but isn't going to be able to with that pull, just bringing him right back in.
Yeah. When Maiev was originally released, she was labeled by the developers as the anti-mobility hero with that tether. So let's see if they can utilize it here. And Stukov and Chromie pick up. First time we get to see Stukov today, so Silence Pool will be unleashed onto the enemy team.
With that Rhaegar ban, they didn't end up banning the Medivh this time. They banned the Rhaegar instead, so I think maybe considering that Medivh doesn't have as great wave clear on this map, he can be great here, he can be great anywhere, but deciding to go something else instead. Chromie picked up by Lupus, like you said.
Yeah. Should be really interesting. And there's the Deathwing. Deathwing being picked up. And that is going to be an offlane Deathwing played by... Nope, that's a main tank Deathwing. Look at that Zanehyde.
They did end up swapping.
Zanehyde. All right, so he doesn't have to worry about the silence. Doesn't have to worry about the CC from Nubrak, but the deflect on Genji and the Q, or the burning breath from Deathwing, that's what he basically has to worry about. And Chromie is going to really, really punish that Deathwing if he's not very careful. So it should be really interesting. I do see a CC combo being set up there with the Maiev pull, with the Malfurion sleep, and then Deathwing damage. So very, very interesting to see how they're going to set this up and what the execution can be like.
I'm more interested to see which build he goes. If he goes kind of like the burst damage Q build or more of a melee in the thick of things build. So I guess we'll see how that goes. Starting once again with the blue teams. Let me trigger this. We are looking at Zanehyde being not playing the Blaze. That was a swap. Excuse me. Pepper playing the Blaze. Chaotic playing the Vala. June playing the Malfurion. Zanehyde playing the Deathwing. Earth playing Maiev. And for the red team?
And then we got Lupus playing the Chromie, Cheeky's playing the Stukov, Zero on the Anubrak, Deadwish on the Genji, and finally Marbuckle on that Dahaka.
Nice. Right off the bat, we will be able to see he goes Draconic Might at 1, which gives him the protect every time a plate breaks. That is a little bit, it's the tankier option, which makes sense. 4-man push top.
Yeah, with that Anubrak and his Beetles being able to absorb those shots, trying to get as much damage as possible. Zanehyde slowly rotating up.
Pepper about to take a lot of damage in that silence pull. I don't know that he gets out here. Big stun, is that enough? Oh, and he walks out, and the Deathwing just in time to provide the extra CC. And then Vala able to get as much value bottom lane.
Yeah, even more so because the gate's down.
Yeah.
So leaving that Vala up uncontested, definitely not something you want to do too much.
Vala going AA build this time. I think you often see a W build on this map for the extra clear, but I think AA build is going to be more of the hyper carry spot that you'll see her playing this game.
Yeah. Exactly.
W build on the Chromie.
Both teams just kind of taking their, we're going to call them siege camps. Both of them taking their siege camps right now. Both the Hellbats going out into lane. Now the fight over the control happens.
It's going to be hard to get Deathwing off this point if the team comes up. Deathwing has almost no threat to this game from the enemy team. Chromie is going to have a hard time hitting the Deathwing unless, you know, he's isolated on a point or something. The waves are going to be blocking that, and then the W can be pretty easy to avoid. And then Genji doesn't do a ton of sustained damage, although he can spec into that. His Qs do surprising burst sometimes. Vala doing a great job of pushing the Chromie back by the alternate positioning and then backing up when it's necessary. I have rotating in, forcing Stukov to walk forward.
Excellent. And
a lot of damage with the sleep.
Yeah, and we do see the Blaze and the Haka fighting up in the top lane. Blaze retaking that control, and looks like this is going to be, if not a full wave or a really large lead, it's just starting. And there goes the Anubrak. That should be the first wave going over to $1 million JPEG.
Absolutely. Yeah, Deathwing head was so low he had to fly, but with the Anubrak being gone, all they can do is try to rotate up top and hold that point a little bit longer. Deathwing will opt to land up there to capture it. They're going to back off. Heal goes out.
Oh, still losing down to only 20 armor, but should still be enough to secure. There's that silence pull.
Grab on the Maiev, but it's not going to be enough.
And she's just going to go ahead and walk away. So they already have 3 heroes top to defend against that Zerg wave, which is not much of one. And only Chromie left to defend bottom lane.
Chromie is not going to be much of a threat here. She will have good clear with her W, but her Qs aren't going to do much until she gets Pierce at level 18. This looks to be a really aggressive early lead for a $1 million JPEG.
Oh yeah, they're 100% going to be pushing here. Already going into the keep wall the waves still at 10% health. So very, very strong here push for them. Genji's trying to flank on the outside, but can't really do much yet as he doesn't have that level 7 deflect cooldown. That's the wall going down, and look at the Vala. Is the Genji going to be able to make it in?
Genji moves in strong, tries for the healing on the Malfurion, but it's just not quite enough, and now the Malfurion will go down as well. The Dahaka rotating in aggressively on the rear was a great move. Maiev also going down, but look at, they're still taking damage on their keep.
Now that is the keep. Those Guardians are starting to put some damage in. Not going to be able to take it down, obviously, but definitely puts in a lot of pressure.
So even with the 3 deaths against the 1 kill that they've been able to secure, that aggressive advantage that they have now is pretty strong.
Looking at the top lane here, just both teams just kind of exchanging their Goliath camps. I think those are Goliaths. Okay.
Zainhide by himself goes for the aggressive move in on this.
He just feels like he doesn't have any. Yeah, he doesn't have anything to worry about it yet.
Yeah, but I mean, 4v5. Still. He does have some stuff to worry about 4v5. I will say that. He's completely backed away. Maiev going for a good pull. Lands on the Anubarak. Oh, he tries to get out, but the dive from the Maiev is enough to completely land it.
Are they going to be able to steal this camp, or are they just going to go for the push instead? Zainhide in the air, trying to get his plates back and get some health. Decides to land bottom lane to clear that up. So it looks like they are just going to go ahead and push and secure this top camp.
So top fort, yeah.
Top fort, sorry. Not quite. Just going to get a lot of damage out. They did back up a little bit.
A little too far. The root coming out just in time, but the Genji dives as well.
Nice stun by Pepper there. Really stopped that engage.
Yeah. A little bit of a damage problem I think I see for baby makers. I typically don't like what I call double intermittent damage, which is what I think Genji and Chromie both are. And what I mean by that is they're not consistent sustained damage characters that are putting, constant threat at range. Great stasis time, stop securing the camp. However, that is returned on the Anubarak, who's going to be instantly rooted and stunned and slapped and pulled, but does get the dive out at that point.
There's Zainhide coming in, trying to clean up here. Not quite being able to. But the beacons... Yeah, but the beacons are up, so they're now going to go and start to get that control. And we do see Genji moving down.
Blaze rotates down. They have 10 advantages for a moment, although that's going away at this point. There's nothing left to get. Definitely flies in order to get that 3rd armor plate back, ready to drop at any moment. That is a weak Anubarak who's used his E at this point. However, with the dive from the Genji, they have to instantly retarget. Blaze pretty consistently outdamaging this Dahaka.
Yeah, he definitely has a really good
although we do see a rotate down
here. And Dead Wish there, so as soon as he sees the Genji, he's going to back off, let them push in top lane, get more damage onto this fort, while he go ahead and retake bottom. There's the Genji top. Once again, Vala being a little bit out.
That root not quite landing. Cocoon does go out on the Malfurion, but with the stasis countering it on the Chromie, it's just kind of a 1-for-1 at this point. Malfurion position too far forward, takes a ton of damage. Genji tries to get it, but June was able to stay alive. Definitely ends up going down first. Genji trying so hard to secure the kill. It does end up getting it, but the E-ray sets are not there in order for a huge clear up. I do think this is Maiev going down as well. The teleport does get out, but the Genji and the Chromie are able to secure the kill.
And looks like baby makers are going to opt to go for boss. Yep, right there immediately. That Genji, as I was mentioning, just rips through that boss with his W and level 7.
His deflect is really strong, and the cooldown reduction has it up basically constantly.
Exactly. No chance there. So now he's going to go back and get that full mana. $1 million JPEG has to deal with boss as well as the channel here. They still have 60%, so they're still going to end up being very close if they get a full channel here, which looks like
They
Blaze is
might
going to
get a
stop
channel
that
back?
immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they get up to
Interesting
80%,
move.
then they're okay.
Oh.
They didn't quite grab it. They're gonna land it at 86% if Baby Maker's able to cap the rest. Vala is able to just see enough of them on the map to be able to just take down top fort. They may be willing to trade bottom fort at this point. Cocoon goes out on the Blaze. That's a worrisome situation for him. They're going to try to follow up the CC with the silence right into that, but he shift queued the bunker, and because Stukov silence is not a constant silence, it actually applies in ticks. You're able to queue abilities before you get silenced, even though the silence is down when you're in something like Cocoon. Very frustrating interaction, I think, from a visibility of how it seems like the talent should work versus how it actually triggers.
The top fort did eventually go down to that the camp and wave push. So looks like it is a structural advantage for the $1 million JPEG trying to get themselves this third win here. A very, very close game. Zane Hyde Zane Hyde getting a little bit of pressure here, but he's just going to be able to back off. Still has his armor plates, 3 of them now.
They have pressure on bottom lane. And I think a little bit more control of the point here, although there is a Stukov. No bunker. It did just come up. Does he use it in time? He doesn't.
He
that
does
silence
not.
is extremely well placed, and that's going to be Deathwing going down as well. Excellent team fight result for Baby Makers, as Deathwing and Blaze are both kind of cut off at the knees.
Now they're looking to go ahead and push in here and take the beacons, as the Genji can rotate very, very quickly.
This will be a complete balance of the game for them at this point. Both of them looking for the aggressive dive past the fort. Oh no! That stasis actually helping Maiev a little bit, although she will end up going down anyway. The stasis goes out. The containment disc, rather, on the Anubarak. Deathwing lands.
Zanhai landing in a precarious situation. Looks like they're going to concentrate on taking down the fort instead. Their wave going to be pushing bottom lane. And, you know, I think they actually still need to have someone at top lane to try to take over, to clear this up, because that would eventually take down the entire keep if left unattended.
It will. I don't know if Dahaka's enough. They're going to opt to try to get for a kill here. This is potentially an end of the game if they play it correctly with the right kills. I don't think that's going to end up happening, though. Deathwing very low. Genji looking to secure the final little piece of that.
Oh,
but it ends up being
Genji does
caught
go
in the
down.
sleep. Very well played. A lot of damage by Deathwing Q there. Maiev constantly putting pressure in and pushing. That's going to be swiped from the Stukov in an effort to disengage. However, that does root him in place and place him invulnerable to a rotate. That pull is just enough to make sure that he goes down, and the other two are just gonna walk away, boys. They're gonna smile and wave.
Look at the damage there in the bottom lane. That's the keep losing, you know, roughly 5,000 health. Top keep is also down a couple thousand here, 1,500. So even though they lost the wave, I really do think that $1 million JPEG got the advantage there. As they're pushing bottom lane, dropping down a little bit more. Blaze
A lot of damage.
might be going down.
He's gonna use.
There
He doesn't have bunker, but he goes down completely. Stasis on the Maiev. It's now a 2v4, but Val is able to secure that kill. Excellent play by Earth there. A lot of CC going out. Genji is down, so there's a lot less threat from that insta kill at those low HP numbers.
Yeah, that Genji going down means that they can't really press in anymore. And Anubarak has to go back at his full mana, full health. And we can go ahead and exchange our camps here.
this is the point in every Braxis game where everyone just kind of agrees to take their camps and do their own thing and just pause all kind of, you know, aggression.
Exactly.
However, Baby Maker's a little bit slower on that. Is going to allow some time for $1 Million JPEG. Oh, just the miss on the tongue.
Just missed.
However, isolation does land.
Yeah, tethered back onto that move rack. Zanehide being a little bit cut off here, but they are able to go ahead and walk away. And
End up grabbing the camp, yeah.
yeah, Baby Makers do eventually get the camp. Dahak clearing up the $1 Million JPEG camp, and everyone's just going to go ahead and reset. Zanehide already back up in the yard, getting his armor plates back right now. And looks like it's just going to be a little bit of ring around the rosy here for the next little bit. See if they can catch out anyone. Baby Makers do have their camp pushing.
They have the...
They
this
have the
might be
Genji.
interesting. Containment disc is up, but Cocoon is also up. Deathwing lands, they instantly back away, say, hey, you guys are going to start taking boss damage here. Deathwing flies in. So much damage on the Chrome, he's way too far out of position. Oh, but it ends up being Fury goes down first, even though Chromie does go down as well. Vala also goes down. This is going to be a 2-for-1 in favor of Baby Makers. Oh man, I could have saw I saw that going either way. Those are some pretty quick shifts.
Yeah, exactly. Baby Makers still have their camp pushing top lane with catapult support. So $1 Million JPEG are going to have to go back and deal with that. And now they're immediately going right back to the boss.
Yeah, with the Genji, it doesn't matter if the Chromie's not there. They have the boss clear to be able to do it. He's going to have his protect up constantly.
Yeah, and there it is. So boss and wave, this is looking very good for Baby Makers. Zanehide stopping the channel just momentarily as he starts to head back up into the skies. If you're $1 Million JPEG, what do you do here?
Well, at this point, they're in a little bit of trouble. Maybe there were some choices a little bit earlier on that would have changed things. So first and foremost, you're looking to survive this mega push. It's actually beneficial that the boss and the wave are coming. Oh! Isolation catches the blaze. He is just going to walk out, pull, but there's no follow-up. So much damage on the Maiev. She ends up getting caught, and I wasn't even looking over there.
Wow.
That is exactly the opposite of what you want to have happen as $1 Million Baby at this point. If there's some way they can survive this, then maybe they reset and...
oh, that's aggressive by Zanehide. Yeah, I think that was desperation there.
It was absolutely desperation.
Yeah, this is going to be GG. That's Vala and Malfurion. Earth has been playing really well, but I don't think he's going to be able to take on all of them plus the wave. No, that's a GG. Good game, guys. Hard fought map between both of these teams.
Great series. Every single one of these games had a back and forth that was that had either one of these teams winning it, and so I'm really enjoying watching the balance I think you find in this and where these teams are at this point.
I would say a big thing that we saw here was the Genji being able to sneak that boss and have that absolute boss control, making the $1 Million JPEG constantly worry about boss being taken just because of the Genji pick alone. So that was something that you definitely saw them always looking for and always having to check.
Higher average damage numbers coming out of the $1 Million JPEG, but obviously the kill secures are definitely coming down to Baby Makers. So I think the at the end of the day, the Genji got a ton of value. Chromie got a lot of value. Genji with 8 kills. Chromie with 7. Stukov with an excellent healing output. I didn't comment much on Stukov's build throughout the game, but he went full heal build, not opting for the root in the silence, not opting for the resets on silence, just saying, hey, this Vala hypercarry is their only option. So you got a lot of value out of the armor, the biotic armor out of Stukov against the Vala AA build, who has most of their damage. So, and you kind of see that in the damage numbers. Definitely actually outpaced Vala late game in damage, because I think she ended up having a hard time staying in long enough to do those, incredibly high damage numbers that Vala can do.
Yeah, that was really well done by both teams. Definitely, as I said, mentioned back and forth. I came down to the last map here. Really liked how both teams drafted it. Maiev definitely had some really good damage numbers out there. Getting caught at the end was a little unfortunate, and then Zanehyde going in, getting caught out. But overall, both teams did incredibly well. I was very impressed with both teams.
Well, I just got informed this is a best of 5, so I'm excited to go into
Oh wow, nice.
the next game. I think every series in Storm Division is best of 5, so I think the good times are rolling.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so that means we get two more games.
My poor lungs and throat didn't realize this, but I'm game, and we're just going to keep rocking.
Perfect.
Let me change a few things now that we know it's a best of 5. Baby Maker's looking to secure the win. One moment here as we update some things and wait for what the next map is going to be. It's going to be Dragonshire.
Dragonshire, fantastic map. I absolutely love this map.
Game 4, Dragonshire. Looks like it was picked by the side of Baby Makers. All right, game number 4 out of this best of 5 set. Still have a good average viewership in the channel here. The people watching are sticking it out the entire time, which is awesome.
Good job.
Yeah, late on a Saturday, so a lot of dedication.
I was gonna say, it's just Saturday night. No one else has anything else to do, but it says watch some good hots you're playing. Like once again, these I'm obviously I'm healer man, so I'm looking at these cleanses, I'm looking at these healing numbers, and they're absolutely on point. These guys are definitely putting the work, putting that effort in. So really loving the high level play that we're seeing tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we'll see all but one of the available maps the pool played. So far we've seen BOE, we've seen Braxis, we've seen Tomb of the Spider Queen, and now we're going to go to Dragonshire. That will leave Cursed Hollow and Volskaya if this does end up going to a best of 5.
Nice. Are we ready? Looks like they're asking for us. There we go. Perfect. With this map, you do see the old king of this map, which is Rexar. He might be showing up here. Although they did have both teams had the opportunity to pick him up on Braxis, which is the other map that he's usually very seen there. So haven't seen him yet. We might be able to see him here. Medivh ban immediately.
Yeah.
So I went back to the old well of Medivh ban here. So
expected. He gets a lot more value on this map. The portals and the rotation speeds and all that kind of stuff add a lot here. Johanna banned out as well. I agree with you. This map has a little bit more like isolation in the offlane because that you're actually spreading against 3 points in any given time with top, bottom, and mid needed to capture an objective. So characters like the Rhaegar get a lot of, not Rhaegar, Rexar get a lot of value when it comes to capping this final point. Junkrat also banned, excellent for point control and aggressive positioning on the shrines.
oh, definitely. Let's see how they're going to pick up the first pick here. Not sure. Like, we can see Stitches. A lot of blind corners to be picked up here. Might be able to pick it up. Might be too early to pick it up the first game, but they go ahead and pick up the Hogger.
Hogger doesn't
first
get
time,
banned. Pepper's gonna take
he
it.
gets picked. I was gonna say first time that Baby Makers did not ban out Hogger this series. Pepper immediately frosts at the mouse and picks him up. Responded with a Maiev. So we got to see Maiev played by $1 Million JPEG. Now we get to see it played by Baby Makers. And a Stukov by Cheekies gets to be picked up.
Yes, Maiev on the Death Wish. Stukov being played by Cheekies once more. Got a lot of great value out of Stukov and excellent healing numbers in the previous game. Really excited to see Pepper's Hogger with as much respect as it was given. And then we see the Valera getting picked up. Remember, Valera got banned last game on Braxis. And I guess we'll see why this game. Lucio also saw some ban early on. June plays a great Lucio. Excited to see that one as well.
Yeah, we're going to definitely be able to see the Valera being played up by Earth. Earth was playing the Vala last game, and then he was playing the Reg on Tomb. So very interesting to see how Earth is going to be playing this Valera. And then the Diablo being banned out with the Lunara.
Lots of Diablo played so far. I'm actually interested to see Baby Makers ban it out because Lucio tends to be a little bit weak to Diablo if he's wall riding, and that gives Diablo the instant hard stun. But we'll see how that goes.
The Chromie and Anubrak being picked up here. Chromie will definitely make
value last game. Same with Chromie.
Yeah, he definitely did. He had some really good key cocoons, and the rewind by Chromie got some great value with the Genji follow up as well. We saw the loop or the rewind. Yeah, loop. That's what it's called. Loop with the X-Strike get some great value.
Interested to see the Chromie. It fills a very similar role to Junkrat here with the vision and then point control with the traps. Leoric and Hanzo getting picked up in the last two spots for $1 Million JPEG. Probably a main tank Leoric with a Hanzo.
Yeah, I was gonna say the main tank Leoric with that Valera CC. So they lack the CC from the Leoric, the Valera can definitely make that up. And he has that unstoppable to try to help him against that Maiev, Anubrak, and the Chromie. So it'd be interesting to see how like these different kind of drafts work out. We had a main tank Deathwing last game, and now we're seeing a main tank Leoric.
Any swaps here at the end? It does not look like it. I'm intrigued by the damage structure of Baby Makers. It's a lot of burst damage. Maiev could go AA build and add some sustain. I don't know how well she's going to be able to stand up against this other team. However, they are a bit squishier, so the Valera rotates on the offlane are going to be something that Dahaka has to be constantly aware of, although he is one of the harder to gank offlaners in this game.
Exactly.
All right, going into game number 4. Let me zoom out here. Kick this off with the blue team. We have Zainhide playing Leoric, Chaotic playing the Hanzo. June is playing Lucio, Hogger being played by Pepper, and finally Valera being played by Earth. For the red team,
we got Dead Wish playing the Maiev, Zero on the Anubrak, Cheekies on the Stukov, and then we got Marbuckle on that Dahaka, and then to round it off, we have Lupus playing the Chromie.
Instantly a shift towards this like lower rotate on this mid point. A lot of damage on Leo, who's just stuck in that silence pool. He does go down really quickly. Yep. June just gonna skate away.
We're gonna probably see Zainhide be having a little bit of trouble with that, and at least for the first little bit until he starts getting his survivability. However, if you're not dying in Leoric, you're not getting your trait value, so you have to do it at least a couple times.
Have to. A lot of damage going on the Dahaka. They're not going to end up going that hard for it.
Good value done by $1 Million JPEG, getting some good damage onto Dahaka, making sure that he can't quite push up into the Hogger yet. So, and there we do see a sneaky rotation. Oh, very close. Looks like June did accidentally show just a second too early.
So theory here, I think we put an offlane top and offlane bottom, and you have a 3-man rotate with the Hanzo Valera. They're moving in aggressively on this camp. The team looking for it. June sitting on the point. Zanehide's able to get there, but the silence is just a ton of damage.
June going
goes
down. Earth, is he going to go down too? He is.
It was an aggressive move. They got the Stukov, but I don't believe it was worth it with the 3 deaths they got and not able to secure the camp.
However, while that was going on, the Hogger was able to secure his own camp. And as we said, Zanehide back again with his trait value.
I think we need to see something unusual like those rotates, forcing the enemy, like the baby makers from the $1 million JPEG perspective, into a heavy grouping where they don't feel like they can isolate and get as much macro value. June looking for that quick pick. Earth staying there as well, but that vision camp will reveal Marbuckle to content to just stay back. June, I'm willing to look aggressive. He's gonna sit back there.
Excellent. Yeah, we do see Zanehide sitting there in the middle lane. We have Chaotic trying to hold off 3 and a siege camp bottom lane. Won't be able to do that much longer until they start to lose some structures here.
Hanzo with a Q build this game. Last time we saw him play it was on W build.
Zero.
Zero is pretty far in there. A lot of damage. 12 health, less than 10. Oh my goodness. Does go down. Just cannot. Chaotic so low. Says, oh, conveniently, I'm here to take this camp. I'll do it. They died back in on the Maiev. She's trying to kill Zanehide, but ends up going down herself. Less than 200 health.
June blocking the Qs from the Chromie there. Zanehide had 100 health. Managed to go ahead and live. Up at the top lane, we still have the siege damage going in. Pepper having absolute control over the points here. But looks like Big Maker's going to take back bottom. Not quite, not yet.
The time trap, just everything. Leo sitting there and needing 2 people to defend him from getting this point. I think they're just going to leave Maiev and then rotate a new Brack down at this point.
Yep. Earth coming in, gears that silence, there's that damage.
Looks to cap. He gets the cap. Oh, unless it's delayed.
Yeah, there it is.
Doesn't get delayed, just quite.
Wow.
The cap timings for this map is if you're able to start the channel before someone can step on the point, then you'll secure the channel. But if someone steps on the point before you start the channel, they will keep you from getting this the Dragon Knight.
There we go. We're just gonna see it's still pretty early on, only 4 minutes in. Not the strongest Dragon Knight yet, but is able to rotate top lane and is gonna start putting some damage in that top lane, giving Pepper a little bit more control if we can take this down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chaotic bottom lane, duking it out with Lupus here, and we got Leoric in mid lane. So very key to point out here, not everyone's over rotating onto the Dragon Knight trying to clear it out. They are still ensuring they are maintaining all that soak that they possibly can from both teams. So very important to take into your own games.
Yeah. Valera knows that the burrow is actually used to dodge the kick, so she's going to stay and try to get some damage there. Push that wave in a little bit.
That Valera just constantly rotating between mid and top, really putting that pressure on there, making it so Dahaka cannot step up too much for fear of being silenced and killed. So I can definitely see why they want to ban out Earth's Valera here, as he's definitely being quite annoying. And Hogger going ahead and taking their camp of Valera covers the soak.
I think both these teams are doing a great job of just constantly rotating offlaners. Valera takes off lane, Hogger takes off lane while Valera's doing it, Hogger's taking a camp. Leo can be bottom off laning while the rest of the team rotates. It's just a constant state of flux. Haka constantly needing to rotate around, but with this camp pushing in, I think that's the fort down unless they all rotate up to defend. Hogger maybe in a rough
There's
spot.
Hogger might be.
He gets silenced. He uses Hortipult and just barely gets out. The unstoppable from the Lucio with the high five is just enough, followed by the stun and the Hanzo arrow. That was an incredible series of events for $1 million JPEG. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was well done. Good coordination, good communication out there. they really do have. It feels like that $1 Million JPEG has control of this. The rotations, they're constantly rotating up a little bit faster than baby makers, and really putting that pressure in. You can actually see that they have so much pressure that they have Augur taking the siege camp all the way from the top lane.
Yeah.
Going ahead and taking that for the friendly team.
I mean, it's absolutely necessary, and this is a map where you can get away with a structure of not having a main tank. And the reason for that, the reason they're able to get away from it here, is because they're, you know, constantly causing baby makers to rotate. However, the question is, it's getting later and later in the game. It's going to get less and less value as the points and the push that you get, you know, ends up going further. Are they doing enough before this gets too late in the game? Stasis goes out, containment disc captures the Leo. He's gonna get silenced.
Oh,
Leo goes March. I had forgotten it. It's been so long since I've seen it. March of the Black King.
March of the Black King.
That's
very nice.
That's saying, hey, I need that survivability, and it's worth sacrificing the huge benefit of late game. Cocoon goes out on the Hanzo. That's Lucio getting maybe some struggles, but
look at Lucio. He's keeping track of all the timers.
Big
and
stun.
That is a great stun. And that is Lupus going down on that Chromie.
Instant kill on the Chromie, yeah.
And then we do see Pepper getting pretty low here on the Hogger, but same with Marbuckle. Both of them are very, very low.
Dodges the Q, ends up pushing him off the point, and is able to stay here. And that's immediate channel from Valera once again.
Wow. Looks like they're rotating immediately back top. Really going to be taking down that fort. Well, we have Hanzo and Lucio still bottom, putting that pressure. Looks like they're just abandoning the top fort. It's gone. They're not even going to try to defend it. And they're just going to go ahead and make sure that the bottom two lanes are still nice and healthy.
From a priority perspective, you don't always see top fort being prioritized, although I do think it is one of the best early forts to have down, because it, you know, weakens the off lane by so much. I think it's really important for the game that $1 Million JPEG is playing, because it creates much longer of a lane for that off laner, which makes them that much more susceptible to a gank rotate.
Exactly. And with them taking down this middle fort as well, it really just opens up the map for them, makes it so that the baby makers has to rotate a little bit differently, gives more of an opportunity for the Valera to catch someone having a bad rotation. We do see here all ults are up, looking at Earth, getting some good damage onto Deathwish. Zanehyde gonna be going down here, but
yeah,
making sure that he gets a little bit of health back.
Does Marbuckle? No, he does not. Has the heal up too much. Yeah. Chaotic is way too low to be anything.
Yeah, he still has his ult. Gonna look to see if they're gonna be using this as a disengage. There it is, and they're out.
Yeah.
Good stun, had to be burned, but they were able to take down 2 forts. And now all that $1 Million JPEG can do is look as they see their camp.
5v5. Yeah, they tried to engage it, and they're like, well, it's a little bit too risky. Same talent tier, and they're going to be 5 up again.
Exactly. That Leoric trait value, he's definitely using it here in this game, making sure he's getting up in time to really make it a 5v5 there. So good job by Baby Makers recognizing that and backing off immediately.
This is the value that that $1 Million JPEG was looking for in their early game strategy, transitioning to the late game play. They had to get some forts down. They had to look for that. Valera still kind of like harrowing this off lane while you're actually positioning to you know, camp capture strategy from Augur and the rest of the group. I think going into the late game, they want to just continue to capitalize on this, get some picks. They have 16s in advantage. Whoa, the Lucio unstoppable the Cocoon and completely canceled that ultimate. A lot of damage going out on the Stukov, but with Hortapult, and then Leo, he goes down, but they secure the
Pepper just having some fun there.
Chromie Lupus with the incredible like swap on clones. That was really well played.
Nice.
That will be the fork going down though. So
That is the fork going down. Definitely saw some really good synergy. Zanehyde using his unstoppable and going actually behind that Stukov, try to secure that kill. Did miss his W because of the horror pull by Pepper, but was still able to slow down, get in front of him, and get that kill. And his trade value coming back up right now.
I saw the Dragon Knight point
Nice
upwards, and I
pressure.
would have been shocked if they went for top keep at this point, because that's typically not the strategy now. I expect
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
just a shortest wave. You either push mid, which is your shortest point to core, or you push bottom, which is where you see all those the camp value.
Yep.
And I think they're opting for that bottom push.
Exactly. For people at home, you got 3 camps in the bottom lane. You got your 2 siege plus the bruiser camp. So you do see as you move into the mid to late game, teams put a lot of pressure on the bottom lane because that's usually your win condition. And top lane's always ignored because this small bridge, it's called the Bridge of Death, because there's very little that you can move, very little mobility available there, and the defending team has the advantage.
Absolutely. Entire wall goes down. That's actually pretty good. They're now, you know, fighting the clock rather than the health of the Dragon Knight now.
Yeah, Dragon's still at 63%, slowly going down though, but we'll definitely be able to take down at least one more tower, throw it a Q.
Same build as last time on the Stukov, just complete healing output. And that's pretty effective here. Or it has been so far.
Oh,
Lucio
there's
now getting the
June.
target. That's really good. Oh, not quite enough. A little bit too little, a little bit too late. I think the Stukov couldn't step up due to the silence just in time, which is a little rough. Silence does work a lot better against this. Oh, Cocoon. There goes
Look
the
at that
big-
re-engage.
Yeah.
Zanehyde was kind of left out there by himself, that's why he was so low, but was able to make it back and live through all that. And we do have the Valera coming in at the last second. Wasn't able to get much done, but everyone just resets. They press the R buttons. Now we're just going to reset and come back to it.
Absolutely.
Zanehead was looking to collapse a little bit. Oh, the Maiev ult missed, so that is a 40-second cooldown that they're going to try to take advantage of. Nice unstoppable by Zanehyde, stopping that tongue from the Dahaka.
Oh, and the Unstoppable just walk away from Leo. Is it going to be enough? There's so much damage in the silence. I think he lives. No, he doesn't live.
No, unless does he? No,
So
he
close.
doesn't.
Do they get the
But
return kill though? They do get the return
They
kill.
do get the return
and
kill.
Stukov's in a rough position.
yep, and
They
remember
have level 20s. They're going to move in aggressively. Valera's on the back
Exactly.
line, and with Lucio backing it up, that is incredible. Hanzo will get set down, but look at this Valera again. The positioning, so much damage.
Yep.
Stasis goes out. Another arrow from Hanzo. That's how
And
long this fight
Lupus
has been.
300. There it
Oh,
goes.
the quick
down.
arrow is enough to get it done.
Yep, and there goes 0. That
another
is
kill.
all 5 down. Looks like they're going to be pushing in mid.
I don't think
Do they
this
have the
is
siege
in.
damage?
I don't like. I think they can get the keep. I don't know if they can finish the core. They might go for trying though.
He's still got 10 seconds before Dahaka.
Maybe they do. Man, $1 million JPEG looking so hard to get to this best of 5. Some funny chat going
Letting
up
them
here.
know that there's camps to be taken, so you cannot go for core yet until you take all the camps. I'm pretty sure that's Storm League rules, not NGS rules.
Looking at this best of 5, man, has this been a series tonight?
Well done.
Pretty
Both
amazing.
teams back and forth.
All right, well, there's only 2 maps left they can go to. Let's see which one they choose. Completely
Well
even
done.
now.
Looking at the numbers here, Stukov was able to out-heal the Lucio. Once again, looking immediately at the healing numbers. Stukov able to out-heal, but still not quite enough to net them the victory. The $1 million JPEG coming up with a second, I'm going to call it odd draft with a Leoric main tank, but works out for them this time.
I think anytime you can get away with a, you know, off, a non-tank tank roll and then a Valera, it's an odd draft. But
Yeah.
they executed on their strategy really well. They kept Baby Makers on the back foot. They set the agenda consistently throughout the entire game. And when you're playing a non-conventional draft like that, that's what you have to maintain, or you'll slip. So, and they did. So
Exactly. Good to point out here that Pepper was able to get his Hogger, and he won on his Hogger.
he did. Maybe I
Yep.
think there's a reason it keeps getting banned. He's played it very well. 0 deaths in a game where everyone on Baby Makers had at least one. Leo getting a lot of trait value, but overall, it was actually interesting. Baby Makers was ahead in kills for almost the entire game until the very end when they were able to get a pretty solid, a 5-man wipe against Baby Makers in the last leg.
Exactly. I do feel for Marbuckle there. He had the Valera and Hogger on him almost the entire game, so wasn't quite able to step up and get that XP that he needed to for his team. So that's why you see the Maiev just outsoaking him. But he was able to use his global, and they had some pretty good team fights back and forth on this game. Did eventually go down to the $1 million JPEG, but still, what a fantastic game by both teams.
Van Cleef saying, great series, you guys rocking it in the chat. Both teams are playing their asses off, so I would completely agree to that. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. I'm definitely have my notes out here looking at some of these things. Absolutely love the intensity. And you can see here that they're both friendly there. Dead Wish at the end of the game, letting them know that you shouldn't be ending right now. There's camps to be taken. So
final map will be Cursed Hollow. Let's see. It looks like it was picked up by
yeah, so Baby Makers had the option, and they did end up going for first pick. So it looks like $1 million JPEG decided to go to Cursed Hollow.
Yep. Here goes the game, moving into our 5th draft of the night.
Yep. Interesting. Another large map. First of the really large maps we get to see here. June, known to play Vikings. Are we going to see a Viking ban here by Baby Makers to avoid that whole thing? Or is June going to go off his normal role that he's done and get to play Vikings?
We'll see. I'm interested. I think it could be anything here. Every single time there has been an option, the winner has gone for, or the loser has opted for first pick. So if you got to choose, you chose first pick. That's happened across all 5 of these games. So you have, like, right off the bat, Storm League division, Storm Division League, setting, a very clear agenda that they prioritize that first pick.
Augur immediately banned out.
They let him through one game. They didn't like how that game went, so they're going to go back and they're going to ban him. That's just the way it is. Also, Lucio's been banned twice, so a lot of respect there. And then Maiev going out. Who's up though?
That's Medivh. Medivh is up now.
Medivh is up. What shall we see here?
June really putting a name out for himself, showing his Lucio, immediately getting taken out. But Joe being the first pick on 0 as well.
I don't think Joe's been played by Baby Makers yet, and we haven't seen Joe. I think it's been a ban in every game but the first. So we'll intrigued to see how that goes here. June picking up the Rhaegar, which we've seen the enemy team pick up again. Let's see if they get the Stukov again.
The Haka, Rhaegar.
Pretty,
it does immediately show that June's on Rhaegar. Doesn't mean that, obviously since this is a custom match, they can do switch roles. So we'll see how they change this up. Let's see how they're going to respond here. I do like the Dahaka, obviously a large map, and they respond with 2 globes of their own. You got Dead Wish on the Falstad and Cheekies on that Brightwing.
Great pickups in both ways. I'd say Falstad is a great disengage, and we've seen some pretty great team fights out of both teams so far. Falstad being picked up early does put some weakness on those pick characters, so they did ban the Valera.
Yep, they don't want to deal
Someone
with
like
Ursa Valera.
Zeratul would be a great pickup against a Falstad at this point. However, Zera gets a tiny bit countered by the Brightwing. Kind of depends on what the engage strategy is.
Yeah, the Lupus's Chromie gets banned out once again. Another great thing about the Falstad pickup is that boss control with the Gust. I highly doubt we're going to see a Shock and Awe here, but we're most likely going to see a Gust. And then immediately Li-Ming and Greymane being picked up, so big damage coming out.
Greymane's a great pickup on this map. Great burn on heroes. Great camp clear so a lot of jungling potential. Ming does good against bosses, also does great poke on these points, so makes sense from a mage perspective here. Saving that tank pickup for the very last.
Well, we'll see if he even picks up a tank. He might go with another Leoric here, or
Diablo
and there's the
prioritized
Diablos
once again.
Yeah, Diablo, Sylvanas, and Tyrael. There we go. So hyper aggressive, definitely trying to counter that boss control with the sanctification. What's
immediate
that
swap
other talent?
To Johanna in the off lane, which is what we talked about early on, and then finally the Tyrael pickup for $1 million JPEG at this point. Last time we saw Tyrael, this set was being played by Baby Makers.
Yeah. So yeah, in the hologram is the one talent I was thinking of. So definitely both teams have boss control. They both have boss steal and boss take potential. Johanna being put in that offlane. I love Johanna in the offlane in this current meta. Definitely something I'm looking forward to. Sylvanas, can't let her be by herself too long, or she will get some good push with her trait value. The Greymane, we're gonna assume Silver Bullet and the Li-Ming follow up could cause an immediate blow up and get that reset on Li-Ming. So we might see some explosive fights here.
I think explosive fights have been the name of the game so far. I don't see it changing. So I completely agree. I might give the advantage a little bit in terms of versatility over to Baby Makers for this last fight. You know, from a team fight perspective, and maybe even from a macro perspective with the double global. Having this really solid front line, a ton of different CC options. You can go Falling Sword, which has a lot of value late game. It's great early on as well. But Shield is great for that, you know, immediate CC blow up, and might be a good setup for something like the Sylvanas Mind Control, or even the Silence Arrow. Diablo choosing between APOC and slow. There's just so much there, and if at all costs, if something else goes wrong, you have a Falstad Gust to disengage it. There's just a lot of utility, I think, on the red team here for Baby Makers. All right, let's we can keep talking about this, but I'm going to do the introductions for this game once again. Tyrael being played by Zainhide, Greymane being played by Chaotic, June playing the Rhaegar, the Greymane being played by Pepper, and Li-Ming being played by Earth.
And then for the red team here, the Baby Makers, we do have Lupus on the Sylvanas, Cheekies on that Brightwing, Dead Wish on the Falsehead, Marbuckle on the Johanna, and then finally we have Diablo on Zero on Diablo. That's it.
That 5-man immediate priority to getting a fort. They sent some bottom, they rotated ready to go, they sent you top. This rotate direction by Ming is a little unusual. It's hard, makes it harder to defend here. The team is rotating up.
They do get half that tower, which is pretty good. The one thing also like note with these fights here, the single target blow up versus Brightwing, who's more of an AoE healer, definitely might cause a little bit of problems as we move more into those explosive fights I was mentioning. But it looks like Rhaegar is gonna go down.
Yeah, big pickup on Rhaegar as Rhaegar once again very similar to the Towers of Doom. I mean the Tomb of the Spider Queen match. You know, we got some very hard to pin down characters for $1 million JPEG. So the targets are going to be the Greymane, the targets are going to be the Rhaegar. Those are going to be the easiest to land major CC combos on.
It's also good to note here that half the tower went up top lane, and Grayman was able to actually get half the tower in bottom lane as well. So structurally, very, very even. You can immediately see here that Baby Makers are taking both their camps, with Lupus and Cheekies taking the Bruiser and Deadwish taking the Siege.
Yep, absolutely. See if they hold the siege or they go ahead and pick it up. I imagine they're going to hold it.
I'm going to say the objective doesn't get announced for another 50 seconds. But no, they immediately take it.
Do they cap this one? They cap. We're going to cap Bruisers. Bruisers and Siege. No delay.
Yeah.
No need.
No delay.
I think they'd rather have the timing on it up quicker at this point, honestly. I think it's actually, now that I think about it, smart that $1 Million JPEG caught their camp. They know with a Sylvanas, excuse me, there's a potential they could push really hard if they don't cap it, and so they needed that camp to counter the red team's bruisers.
Yeah, it's well done. Both teams are just going ahead and clearing up the camps right now. See Pepper trying to drag it, the siege camp into the tower range. Not quite being able to do that yet, but the drag should be up very, very shortly.
Once again, looking at putting all the front line on the top and bottom for $1 Million JPEG and just putting major damage on this mid lane.
Yep, and they are really putting a lot of damage in. That Earth playing that Li Ming, putting some really good damage out, getting some good pokes. Now as we rotate into this first tribute being spawned, we don't see either teams rotating just yet. It'll be interesting to see how much damage and how much we can stall these out. And
Yeah,
right now I do put a little bit of positional advantage towards $1 Million JPEG because Pepper actually does have a true global, whereas Deadwish will only be able to go to mid lane.
True. They're down Greymane though with Brightwing countering that.
Yeah, so
It's
very well done. There's Earth putting in that damage. And there's the Brightwing rotate. Zanehyde coming in as well. There we go. Now we have
Taka and Greymane just pushing mid.
pushing. Good job. Seeing that they have stall potential.
They're just continuing to
Zane.
stall. Greymane's just going for it.
And there's Pepper coming in. Good job by Zero getting that peel.
A lot of
Marbach getting
damage.
very
Zero's in a
low.
bad spot at this point.
Yeah.
Finally,
And there he goes. There's the resets from that Li Ming that we were talking about.
the hammer build on the Falstad. That makes sense with the structure that they have here, and it's a great damage boost to the Sylvanas as well.
And yeah, you can definitely see here the double E for Johanna is going to be able to stall this out for quite some time, but it does go down to 400 health, has to pop the unstoppable, and walks away.
So low. Almost bit the dust there, but was able to save it with Ironhide just in time.
Yeah. The 6,368 health remaining on this mid fort. Definitely that Greymane and Dahaka got great value there. Good stall from $1 Million. And let's see as we rotate to the next one. Both camps are being taken, both siege camps. This will favor, I would say, $1 Million JPEG a little bit, as their camp is going for the furthest lane. And it looks like they're actually...
Boss trigger. Yeah, boss trigger on the top right.
Baby Makers realizing that this is a non-advantageous position, they're just going to give up the trib and immediately start taking the boss.
Well, countering the bottom immediately as well.
Exactly.
Both teams know what's going on. They're going for it. Oh, that's not... Is it Brightwing die here? Okay, she clears herself. That was so close.
Oh. And then look at Pepper going in there.
Oh my goodness.
Like level 10 advantage. He's
Johanna's there. He's
bold.
by himself. He can't do it.
Bold.
But that was pretty amazing.
Yeah,
that
stalled
was really
it out
close.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it stalled it out.
Now I'm curious to see if they just decide to trade forts. Most of Baby Maker's rotating down, Dahaka clearing top, but
Oh,
they're
the
keeping their
Hawk got
damage
stunned
down.
there, but he should be fine. With this though, I like the front wall is still up for
Yeah.
$1 million JPEG, so I think that they're gonna be able to defend this.
With still enough time to rotate up to help. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even know if they opt to do that though. Greyming's looking to go to Bruisers, along with Li Ming and Greyming.
It is 2 tributes to none. $1 million JPEG does not have to fight for this if they don't want to, if they feel like positionally they're not quite there. But the boss is still up for Baby Makers. Are they? They're not going to be able to quite take it down, but still, it got a lot more damage than I expected.
I'm impressed the Hawk was actually able to clear it at all. I thought it was going to take the fort with no one else rotating.
Yeah. But here we go. We do see the rotation in. Dead Wish still having to stay in the top lane. Can't quite make it all the way to the objective, whereas Dahaka would be able to. And you can see the pings that he's coming in. Zane Hyde gets that Ancestral Healing. Coming into the back line.
Huge invulnerable going out, along with the Gust. That's going to be Sylvanas. No Tyrael taking so much damage,
Tyrael
but an
going down.
explosion ready to do a lot there as well. Does the Brightwing
There
go
it
down?
is.
It does. It's a 2-for-1 at this point, potentially with Diablo
Zero
going
is
down
going
as
to go
well.
down. Yeah. Greymane coming in now. Immediately taken down with the... Oh! Earth deleting Lupus on that Sylvanas in the mid lane. Dahaka taking up the first curse, going over to $1 million JPEG. This is going to be very painful for Baby Makers.
Yeah, I think they actually have to be a little bit careful mid with the team that's rotating. Both other two people are showing, one top, one bottom.
You do see Zero there, stunning out that melee minion. Fatigue might be setting in a little bit, as this is the best of 5 in the 5th game.
That's true. I know it is for me.
Yeah, Earth might be going down here with that rotation of the Brightwing, and he is down, but that fort is still going to be taken down. So that's all forts down, and we do have $1 million JPEG rotating in. Good Gust to try to save.
Pretty
And
unstoppable
once
by
again,
June.
great
But
unstoppable.
Rhaegar's in a really
June-
bad spot here. Isolated potentially? No, okay.
No, Zane coming in with that shield, gonna make sure he's nice and okay.
Dahaka forcing out the falling sword from the Johanna.
Right?
pretty amazing.
Marbuckle getting back. Mid lane being dropped pretty low here. Under 10,000 health remaining. And immediately taking their siege camp. So overall, we're looking at the timers here, 1:44 and 1:31 for the boss plays. So nothing for the next little bit. Bruiser is up and Pepper's going to say hi. Looks like they are going to...
Pretty strong level
Look to try
advantage.
to
If
take
they can
this.
burn the Diablo with that invulnerable, man, that's definitely going to be a bruiser, and is probably going to be a keep,
Yep.
especially as they get
Ooh.
the Brightwing kill with the Li Ming rotate.
Yeah. Great job by Pepper putting that pressure, getting that aggression over and done with. This keep is going down. Not going to be a game yet. Dead Wish is top lane, clearing that up. Next thing you're going to see here is level 16 to 14. And bosses are going to be up in less than a minute now. So the entire map advantage going over to $1 million JPEG. They are 100% going to be running this for the next little bit. Good news is that both teams have 0 tributes for curses, so they don't have to worry about a curse for another little bit, giving Baby Makers plenty of opportunity to get back into even talent tiers before they have to
The Hawk
go
getting
ahead and
rotated
fight
by
again.
4 people. I think he's definitely going to die here. He's popped a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
abilities, trying to get to a bush, cannot end up doing it. He goes down pretty quickly. However, in response to that, we have the 4-man pushing in bottom to try to get some immediate value. They can't overstay at this point. They know it would be a 5v4. However, the bosses are now coming up at this moment with 16 advantages in favor of $1 million JPEG and a global on the Dahaka, the only one down.
Yep, you can definitely see that Zane High's just trying to
Ooh, Lupus taking a lot of damage.
stall. Yeah,
Sierra now being
Lupus
caught out.
almost gone. Auto text.
Oh, Ming cannot.
Earth trying to go in, not quite able to.
Yo, she gets it. And
Get it.
oh
The
my
Ancestral.
goodness, the Ancestral comes off and saves Earth at the last second. That's some resets as well.
Yeah.
Oh, Brightwing
that
gets caught by the
is-
Holy Ground. Excellent Holy Grounds there.
That is unfortunate. I believe they do have enough here to go immediately to the end. Pepper's up with his Zed available. This might be GG.
If he dies, it's absolutely guaranteed. Might be guaranteed
Gus
anyway.
is-
Oh,
there
the
it
tongue
is.
At the last second. Holy smokes. That's just too much. Too late. With a Li Ming and a Greymane, this is over. GG's all. What an excellent series. Back and forth. Like I said this a minute ago, back and forth every single game. Every single game.
Earth being saved by the June there at the end was so incredibly important. Wow, what a fight, what a match, what a game.
What a game indeed. All right, let's reach out and ask if they would like to do a interview.
Looking at the Tyrael build here, much different from what we saw earlier when he went for Justice for All, Stalwart Angel, Swift Retribution. So definitely went with more of a tanky build, whereas previously it was more of a bruiser build that we saw. So definitely a lot of value there. They definitely were able to get a lot of map control, and then just kind of really didn't give much ability for Baby Makers to have much of a comeback here. They did have that great kill in the Dahaka, but was not quite able to capitalize on it. That level advantage of the 16 to 14 was still enough for them to be able to go ahead and win that 5v4 fight, and then Dahaka coming back and being able to catch the Ballstad at the very end.
Absolutely. All right, we are going to do an interview. Let's hop over into NGS lobby number 2, and we will talk to Zainide. Hello, hello.
Hello, how's it going?
It's going well. How are you, Zainide?
Good, just a little bit sleepy. That was a really, really fun series. Just like exhausted now, kind of.
Yeah, join the club. Poor chat had to deal with it, but I'm actually have COVID right now, so I've got a fever and
Oh,
like a throat
no.
thing. No, it was
I'm so
great.
sorry
We
to hear
rocked
that,
through
man.
it. No, it's all right. It's been fine. But my throat by the end of it was just like I was having to mute my mic to keep from coughing in everybody's ears. But man, what a series! You guys, I mean, I said this multiple times throughout the games, and I think Viper, who's been co-casting with me, is joining now as well. But I think every single game, excluding maybe the last one, had moments where both teams clearly had the advantage and put the other teams on the back foot and could have won. So the mental stress of a 5 series set and having all 4 preceding games go that way. How do you guys stay focused, or what's your draft strategy playing those like long series?
I always tell my team every game is a best of 1. For the most part, after we have the game, we just dump it from memory pretty much. That's how we survive games like the one where Earth took Valera to right side siege on Cursed, sat there for 2 minutes taking a siege camp, and we lost at like minute 8. You gotta get through those games somehow, right?
Right, absolutely. Well, so as we look at these, I'm gonna pull up my notes here. With game number 1 going, like it seemed like everyone is prioritizing first pick. Do you have anything to say against that? And there were some very clear like counter bans going on throughout the whole thing as well. But is first pick still the priority as we're looking at this meta?
Yeah, we actually had a really bad start having first pick on BOE and losing. Yeah. That's pretty much the death knell for, like, at that point, I thought the series was just gone. Because if you're first pick and you lose on the first game, the tempo is pretty much on your opponent's side for the rest of the series.
Right.
So I was definitely feeling a lot of pressure after that. First pick is kind of insane right now, but I think with my kind of weird tank pool, I'm able to flip it on second pick quite a few times. Like I'll give Pepper Leoric, and then I'll take Leoric and give him like Deathwing or something like that.
Right.
That's pretty much our solution to second pick right now.
Yeah, you bring up the non-meta or the non-conventional tanking options. We saw that on Braxis. We saw it on Dragonshire, obviously. Does that put the priority on just having a more fluid rotation strategy? To not put the focus on not having that heavy front line standing out in front?
Yeah, my priority tends to be macro over everything else. I know I'm a bit of a monkey player with a reputation for being too aggro, but at the end of the day, I'm primarily a macro player.
Yeah.
I care about like clearing waves above pretty much everything else.
Yeah.
Serial game notwithstanding.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I know that everyone's sleepy. We're going to keep going through here. It was an excellent series, traded off back and forth and back and forth. And it was exciting to watch. I'm sure it was as exciting as it was exhausting to be a part of. Do you have shout outs that you wanna go ahead and give to the world?
Shout out to Baby Makers. You guys played fucking insane. I think that series was absolutely incredible and it was a joy to play. Shout out to my team, of course. Massive shout out to Goon. Couldn't have done that without you. Double booking and going to choose a wild card event over us. Really appreciate it. Jokes aside, though, shout out to my team. We did fantastic. Was very happy. June, thank you so much for subbing. And thank you guys so much for casting and watching.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to do it. Once again, great series. Glad we could be a part of it, and look forward to keeping track of how you guys do throughout the rest of the storm season, and obviously everyone else. But I'm excited by the show that you guys put on tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much. Have a good night, guys.
All right, same to you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
All right, Viper, we are at the end. It's been a marathon.
It has been a marathon. We did have a little slip up there. I thought it was a best of 3 and ended up being best of 5, but we got 2 extra games in, so can never complain about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I appreciate you jumping in and carrying, especially those late games from a narrative perspective. I'm gonna go get some rest, but this has been really great. Thank you everyone for watching and for staying in these staying in the chat and sticking through a 5-set series on a Saturday night. So I look forward to doing more.
Excellent. GG's everyone. Very much appreciate it. Hopefully everyone has a great night.
Yep. Night, everybody.